been a
Good evening and welcome. I'm going to call the regular meeting of the Nevada City Council to order. Today is Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. It's 6:30 p.m. We are going to begin our meetings as we always do with the Nisenan tribal recognition. My friend, Councilmember Peterson is going to read that out for us.
Thank you. We acknowledge that the Nisenan people are still here among us today, though nearly invisible. We understand that we are on Nisenan land that was never ceded, and the original tribal families have yet to recover from the near genocide of their people. As a resident or visitor in Nisenan land, we support the Nevada City Rancheria Nisenan tribe in efforts to stabilize their people as well as their campaign to restore federal recognition.
Thanks, Gary. And now we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Would the Vice Mayor like to lead us in that?
Certainly. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now it's time for roll call. Madam Deputy Clerk.
Councilmember Peterson
Here.
and Councilmember Fleming will not be here today. Councilmember Fernandez.
Here.
Vice Mayor Cece.
Here.
Mayor Klein.
I'm here. All right. It's time for the adoption of the agenda. Council, now is the time for any agenda modifications. Staff has requested that we take item 10, the ADU contract award, before item 9, the Foundry RFI presentations. Besides that, would you like to make any additional changes to the agenda, pull consent items, or do we have any recusals to announce?
I have one comment. I'm not just asking to pull a consent agenda item, but I'm asking for the opportunity to make a comment on one.
I'll allow it, Gary.
Well, first, we approve the agenda, then
Oh, but afterwards. Is it possible you need to recuse yourself from the Heart of Gold thing happening at Pioneer Park?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, cool. All right, then we'll hear your comment afterwards. Everyone good?
Everyone good?
Everyone good. I'm looking for a motion and a second to adopt the agenda with the item number 9 change.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Fernandez and a second by Vice Mayor Cece. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. You want to make a comment now?
Well, we're going to go to the consent agenda. I wanted to comment on item 5, which is consideration of a grant modification for the California Office of Planning and Research, and the neighbor-to-neighbor grant, where we had some an opportunity to recover some funding that wasn't used for a specific task, and the neighbor-to-neighbor folks were willing to allot that funding to help develop the Pocket Park in downtown. And I just thought it was a great opportunity for us, and I really appreciate their willingness to invest in that part of our community.
Awesome. Good. Thank you, Gary. All right, it's time for presentations. Oh, motion carries, right? We're good?
Yeah, never mind.
Okay. So much drama already. Employee introduction.
You think that's drama?
What do you got planned?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to introduce Amber Wright, who is shadowing Donna tonight. That's why you see 2 seats there next to the clerk seat. Amber's joining us as a limited term position with the opportunity to see that through at least this fiscal year and maybe into the future, hopefully into the future. The title is Administrative Assistant Cross-Departmental Collaboration, meaning unlike all of our other employees who work within one specific department, she works with all of the departments. So kind of connecting the dots. Many of our departments are armies of 1 or 2, and so when we get a lot of work, they need support, and that needs to come from somewhere. And so that will be Amber's role. You may have already interacted with her in calendaring or scheduling for future events for the council or for staff. The community will see her as they submit applications for special events She'll be the kind of the one-stop shop to see from application all the way through bringing it to council, including tonight, our first business item. So she comes to us from Auburn. I don't know if you're aware, or those at home are aware, unfortunately Auburn has had to lay off 19 or 20 of their folks through this budget year, having to do with revenue challenges. Different revenue challenges than you'll see that we have in our last presentation tonight on our 5-year revenue and expenditure forecast, but we're fortunate enough to have the opportunity to pick up Amber in this limited term capacity, and she lives in the county, so just even better. So she is a little nervous. Some reason people are nervous to talk to you guys. I told her you don't bite, but so this is Amber Wright.
Hi, Amber.
Amber, nice to see you. Glad to have you.
Their loss is our gain.
I think this is the most women I've seen sitting at this table in quite some time. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amber. Thank you, Sean. Hey, now it's time for public comment. Government Code Section 54954.3 provides that any member of the public may address the City Council on any matter not on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. The Brown Act, with limited exceptions, does not allow the council or staff to discuss issues brought forth under public comment. The council cannot take action on non-agenda items. Concerns may be referred to staff or placed on a future agenda. Please note that comments from the public will also be taken on the consent calendar and each agenda item at the time it is heard. Do we have any public comment tonight? Okey doke. Time for the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. Before we take action on the consent calendar, do we have any public comment on consent calendar items only? We do not. I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar.
I move we approve the consent calendar.
I second.
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Ceci and a second by Councilmember Peterson. Any objections to the motion? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving right along. This is business item number 8, consideration of a special event application from Child Advocates of Nevada County, Bright Futures for Youth, YBONC, and Heart of Gold Teen Therapy for a city co-sponsored Heart of Gold gravel race on October 18th, 2025.
We get all of
These
us.
people.
Good evening, Mayor, council members.
It's a majority now.
Amber Wright, Administrative Assistant. Here tonight to request a consideration of a special event application for the Child Advocates of Nevada City, Bright Futures for the Youth, YBONC, and Heart of Gold Teen Therapy for the city's co-sponsored Heart of Gold gravel race on October 18th, 2025. The event will occur on Saturday, October 18th, 2025. Event hours are 6:45 a.m. to 4 p.m., with a setup beginning at 5 a.m. and breakdown ending at 7 p.m. Proposed facilities are Bandshell and Siemens Lodge at Pioneer Park. The race will begin at Pioneer Park and use rolling roadblocks. The roadblocks in town will be less than 10 minutes in duration. Once approved, the applicants will deliver notifications to businesses and residents impacted by the rolling roadblock, utilizing language approved by the Nevada City Police Department. Applicants are requesting a waiver of park-related fees with the city and county as co-sponsors. And I'd like to introduce to you Nicole McNeely. She's the Executive Director for Child Advocates of Nevada County.
To my left is Julia Morton. She is our Events and Marketing Coordinator. We're very honored to be here, and I'm excited to hear what questions you have for us.
Do you want to just tell us a little bit about the history of it being at the Rood Center and what it's done there, and then maybe how it's going to be different at
Absolutely.
Pioneer Park?
So this race is in its 6th annual. It is a 6th annual Heart of Gold Bike Race, 6th year. It was founded by Hardy Bullock and Kimmy Bullock in the Truckee region, and in the process of him becoming part of the Board of Supervisors, he realized that it should be kind of a county-wide attempt to help fund for teen mental health services for all teenagers across all of Nevada County. In doing so, he brought in Bright Futures for Youth as one of the partners that is a benefactor of the race, as well as Child Advocates in Nevada County, as well as YBONC, which is the Youth Bicyclist Program. We've had tremendous success over the last few years, and we are looking forward to having this event in the beautiful Pioneer Park this year. We've done well with what we've been offered, which is the Rood Center. It's a beautiful location, however, it is dirt and gravel, and it is a little hot and dusty. So, of course, we have our hearts set on the beauty and the greenery around Pioneer Park for this race. The event every year raises anywhere between $50,000 to $60,000 that is divided up amongst the agencies and serves the children of the community with mental health services. For my own organization, we work with children who have experienced trauma or abuse and are removed from their homes due to that abuse or trauma. And so in my particular organization, the funding would go directly towards some of the children who need additional support with mental health services.
Appropriate to take public comment. Any public comment on this item? Not hearing any. Let's take it back to the table. Gary.
It's a great event. Good work. Thank you for being here. And yes, the park is beautiful. I live right next to it. But a little more facility-oriented and kinder than the Rood Center parking lot, probably, even though it's done very well there. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your work on this. Definitely an important event. I'm glad that we can offer you a nice greener space. Proud to support this, no questions. Thank you,
Thank
ladies.
you very much.
What portion of your budget does this event raise?
So again, the proceeds that are raised above and beyond the cost are anywhere from about $50,000 to $60,000 a year, and then it's divided up amongst all of those organizations across the county. One in particular is the Heart of Gold Teen Mental Health Program, which funds support for teenagers in the Truckee region. They have limited access to therapy and other types of mental health supports in that region. So specifically, that one is kind of near and dear to the race. That's why it's named after the race. And it's just a general fund that families can tap into or request support from to get mental health support for their teenager.
Cool. And what is your usual annual budget?
For this race, our budget for this year is approximately $100,000, and that includes, of course, all the expenses as well. We hire an outside promoter. We also hire a marketing expert. We do a lot of coordination with downtown. We've been speaking with Lynn at the chamber and talking with other businesses about how we can help support them with all of this outside populace coming into the area and utilizing restaurants, hotels, campgrounds. We have a lot of reach that goes all throughout the state, but then also regionally. So there are several individuals, tourist dollars, that are coming into the area because of this race.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This community is blessed with a lot of nonprofits, and Child Advocates is among my favorites. You're not getting a lot of heat from this council right now. We're kind of into it. What's can you just tell me what YBONC is?
Julia, would you like to answer that one?
YBONC, it's Youth Bicyclists of Nevada County.
Awesome. That makes sense. Cool. Yeah, I love this event. It's great. Thanks
If
for
I
bringing
may,
it.
if I may.
Yes, please.
I realized that I was like, this is a great event. Thank you so much for what you're doing. And when I really feel into this, I want to say youth mental health is so necessary right now. I work with queer youth in Western Nevada County schools, and young people are struggling, not just post-COVID, but in our current political climate. And so I just want to name that and bring this into the space and just say thank you because of all that, because this is more important than ever at this point. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for saying so, Daniela. Do I have a motion to approve the special event application?
I move that we approve this special event application.
I second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Fernandez and a second by Vice Mayor Cece. Take a roll call vote.
Councilmember Peterson?
yes.
Councilmember Fernandez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sisi?
Yes.
Mayor Klein?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Please
you.
join us October 18th.
Can't help but join. I'll be there. So do we sing happy birthday?
We're skipping to item B.
Birthday, you know
She's requested we don't do that.
that. She asked if we don't do that?
Skipping ahead to item 10, consideration of 1, the award of professional services contract to the co-housing company in an amount not to exceed $97,000. 2, authorize a project contingency not to exceed $9,700. And 3, authorize the city manager to execute any contract or related documents for pre-approved accessory dwelling unit plans. Hey, it's Lisa McCandless, everybody.
Hello, council. Thank you for accommodating my request to rearrange items. I appreciate that. So I'm excited to bring you tonight a request to authorize City Manager Grayson to execute a contract related to our city-owned, pre-approved ADU master plans. And I am very pleased to be finally able to kick off this project and get into contract with a very qualified designer. We put an RFP out on June 7th of this year and received 9 submittals from qualified consulting firms, and went through a process where we reviewed those applications across some scoring that you might have seen in the RFP, scoring requirements. Notably, the consultant's final deliverables will consist of permit-ready plan sets, including elevations, floor plans, foundation plans, mechanical HVAC layouts, fire sprinkler plans, solar plans, structural engineering, and Title 24 energy compliance calculations. So essentially, the idea is to make building smaller, affordable housing easier on private property. Accessory dwelling units are really important for workforce housing, young people, older people who may own a big house that want to, allow somebody with a bigger family to live in the big house, and they move into a smaller house on their property. There's so many variations of how people can and should use ADUs. So in an effort to support development of more ADUs, we will basically own these 6 plan sets and allow people within the city limits to use those plans to apply for a building permit for an ADU. So the plans will be consistent with our objective design standards and essentially reviewed as they are being created by planning department and all city departments and the building department. So that when somebody says, hey, I want to build an ADU, we can offer the plans and say, we have a really ready, easy solution for you. And hopefully that will make their life easier and incentivize them to move forward with construction. So yes, Chuck Durrett is the owner of the co-housing company. He has a very qualified project manager and lead designer named Natachai. They're a local company, and they did score highest in our process. So I'm excited to work with them. And I welcome any questions that you have, and thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. Do we have any public comment on this topic? We do not. Great. Please.
So county is undertaking a similar process, and is this connected to this? Are like we adapting their existing plans to our design standards?
No, the county has actually had their plans available for a little while now, and their designs don't meet our objective standards. So we have standards that were adopted for projects to be able to be approved ministerially. So typically we require architectural review for new buildings in the city. But when all these new laws were being passed regarding ADUs and essentially trying to make building housing easier, One thing that we could do, basically, we were required to adopt ordinances that said that we approved ADUs ministerially. But one thing that we can do is we can have objective standards that people have to meet. So for our standards, we have a requirement that, windows are twice as tall as they are wide, and roof pitches are a bit steeper, like a 6 and 12 or greater roof pitch. And that's in an effort to maintain the character of the Nevada City neighborhoods in regards to architecture. So the county plans don't meet our requirements. So somebody could use those if they wanted to go to the Planning Commission and have their review.
That was my question, would it require? So we're not modifying the county ones to meet our standards, we are creating something
Yeah,
out
we're
of whole
creating
cloth?
all new plans, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Adam and I sit on the Housing Committee, and, we've named, as, most people know, that housing, obviously, we have a housing crisis in the state and beyond the state, and definitely in this community. And there's no one solution to housing. It's a lot of little pieces. So anytime we can streamline processes and incentivize building, means that we're chipping away at that crisis in the best ways that we can. So I'm excited to see this. Thank you for your work on this. And yeah, I will support it.
Thanks, Danielle.
Hi, the report mentions that submittals were scored with initial and final scoring. Are those scores publicly available?
They would be available by way of a public records request, but otherwise we don't post them.
Okay. And have we had many requests for ADU plans?
We've had a few, yes, definitely, but not a lot.
Okay. Well, even getting a few more built would be useful.
Yeah, so once we get these done, we will put the word out and really try to make the community aware of it and then the opportunity. So that'll be part of the work too.
Yeah, and I think creating the option is like creating the culture around accessibility and streamlining and incentivizing. And so we have to build it first and then educate. So, yeah.
I'm excited about this. You know your business. Chuck knows his business. And I like that, as with so many things we do, where the community is really involved in giving input and everything as well. Here's just a question. You can spitball this one. But in the current things, we don't have these pre-approved plans. Someone wants to build an ADU. What would you say is their expense to come bring it to our planning commission, hopefully get it passed, versus what their expense would be now if they picked one of these plans that worked for their land?
So it varies based on the designer, architect, structural engineer that they choose and all the sub-consultants, but it takes some money to pull up a set of plans together. I would say on average probably $10,000 or $12,000. By the time you get solar and your HVAC figured out, all those things require specialists. And then our permitting fee is, I think, $500, and that's to. I think that includes going to the commission if they need to.
It'd be $2,200 to the commission. It'd be full architectural review if it had to go to the commission, right?
I don't
And
think it would be quite.
And that would be required if somebody, there's no where's the ministerial?
All of these will be ministerial approved.
No, I know ours would be a ministerial, but if somebody comes with the plans like that,
And they don't meet the objective design standards that Lisa could approve, they have to go to the planning
Yeah,
commission.
many I can approve at staff level, but there's a few that, people really want certain windows, or they want something that's just not the same as what our guidelines state. And so I've taken several ADUs to the planning commission. One that I took in August was for a steeper roof pitch because it was a historic home, was the primary house. And then the ADU that they wanted to build, they wanted it to be a steeper roof pitch. But then it was too tall for what's allowed under our ADU ordinance, which is only 16 feet.
So a savings of at least $10,000
And their time.
and their time.
Yeah.
And if it's under 750 square feet, they don't pay development impact fees, which is another $20,000 plus.
Seems like such a good deal for the good people of Nevada City, California.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm into it.
Ministerial planning. Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Let's not take it too far.
Thank you, Lisa. Do I have a motion to award the contract contingency and authorize the city manager to execute related documents?
I would move that and also wish Lisa a happy birthday.
Okay. Do I have a second for both of those items?
I second.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have a motion from Councilmember Peterson and a second from Councilmember Fernandez. I guess we should do a roll call vote.
Yep. Councilmember Peterson?
Yes.
Councilmember Fernandez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lucci?
Yes, and happy birthday.
And Mayor Fine.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Have a
Party.
great evening.
Thanks, Lisa. You have a great evening.
Yeah.
And as she's walking out, this is funded by a grant that Lisa worked with our team to secure as well, so.
Thanks for the grant, Lisa. If you don't have a better night than the rest of us, something's gone horribly wrong. Moving on to item number 9, consideration of 1, presentations from respondents to the request for information for alcohol kitchen and cafe services concession at the Foundry, and 2, provide staff direction for criteria for request for proposals for alcohol kitchen and cafe services concessions, presented by my friend Lon Peterson. Hello, Lon.
Good evening, Mayor. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Crushed it. Thanks for the intro. Lon Peterson, Assistant City Manager for the city. Tonight, before we get into the proposals for the RFIs, I wanted to provide some perspective on how we got here and where we're going. So at the beginning of the year, the city took swift action to save the Foundry. Following that acquisition in March 2025, the council conducted an outreach session with hundreds of people in attendance at the Foundry, plus over 700 people providing information digitally. We published that blueprint, and overwhelmingly, this is what we heard. The big picture was to save the Foundry. The 3 things that came out of that kind of modeled some of the stuff was modernizing the infrastructure, which is HVAC, accessibility, et cetera, diversifying revenues and rentals, which coming up with tiered pricing and subsidized community events for all ages, and also to continue the programming for performing arts, music, live music, and entertainment. That being said, we have, as we committed to, we'd honored all the previous bookings in the Foundry, and we've been holding to that. We're doing a great job. As some of you guys were there, Jerry Bash this year was super successful, had a lot of good times for the communities. We exceeded the attendance as sales from last year, so we're pretty happy about that, given that there was a few dead shows in the Bay Area that we're competing against. So it was great to see the community come out, as well as some council members. So lots of stuff like that. Staff integration, the city was successfully completed transition for all the positions except alcohol sales positions based on the city's inability to operate the bar. So far, we've come up with a tiered pricing model for the Foundry. So weddings are less than $5,000 and closer to $4,200 or something like that for people that live in Nevada City. And so that has already been implemented by council, so there's new rates for that, with tiered pricing for residents, county residents, as well as nonprofits. We enhanced the community connection over there by moving the administrative offices upstairs to downstairs, brightened it up. We painted and moved staff down there. We're also updating the upstairs right now with the intent to make that the green room and put in mirrors for bridals. So that's something we're doing. There's more on that in a second. We finalized the deed transfer on the 15th of July. Took ownership and recorded it at the county for the building. Council approved the release of the RFI, which we're here tonight talking about, and that closed on the 29th. We generated 6 response, and you'll hear from those in a minute. We still have a lot of work to do. Music entertainment programming, we published an RFP that closed on the 15th. Sean and I are currently working on that. You'll see something come to council. I'm not sure exactly when, but soon. That'll be for year-round programming, talent acquisition, as well as marketing for ongoing entertainment. The outdoor dining expansion, which you guys just approved, the Miners Foundry Patio Improvement Project closed and was awarded. And so we expect that project to be completed by Thanksgiving-ish. And so that'll be a nice welcoming outdoor space for the community, whether the foundry is in operations or not. One of the other things we're looking at doing is installing a new HVAC system before next summer, which will again allow for the year-round use, as we've talked about multiple times. We are currently working with Nevada County Media. Kyle's in the other room. He does our meetings here as well as for the county. So we just got a lift over there as well as a bunch of cables. So we're prepping that for the foundry to be able to broadcast and have public meetings over there. So we will host a joint meeting with the county, Truckee, and Grass Valley at the foundry on October 30th. And so working on that to get that ready. And then ongoing from there, any public meetings that we want to have, whether it's here or over there, we can actually do that. That being said, there's still a lot of other stuff that I haven't talked about, little elements of that, but the city remains committed to preserving the foundry and while establishing sustainable and fiscally responsible operations. So back to the RFI, we've asked each proposal to come tonight and provide an overview of their proposal. And so following each presentation, council will have an opportunity for questions and answers. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Sika Ethiopian Specialties to begin the presentations.
Great. Thanks, Lon.
You're welcome.
Hello. Welcome.
Ready, sure?
Yeah, and at the end, Kyle will cue and he'll play the video.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so very much having us tonight. My family, Theron and little Izana's here. And I would like to introduce a little bit about me. I am Fasika, and I'm from Ethiopia. And can you slide it?
Do you want to get that?
Sorry.
It happens.
Forgot about
It
that.
always happens.
It constantly happens. There.
The first one. Okay, yeah. Moved in Berkeley 18 years ago and went to school, Mills College, as international student. And living in Berkeley was amazing, and I got inspired about amazing food and the farmers market in the Bay Area, and also always I got inspired about food and nutrition and cooking. Learned a lot from my grandma who lived in Berkeley as well. I just graduated last year from Sierra College from nutrition. And also living in Berkeley, I met my husband, supporting a lot in my life, and having Izana. And a little bit after, we decided to have a farmers market in the Bay Area, which very competitive, and we started the poor market there, and introduced the culture and learning the culture, also been living there. And then after that, we all had a really good connection in Nevada County. I used to come here a lot before and attended the Miners Foundry events and wedding. And after that, we decided to move here 100% and got a house and raised Susanna here. So excited about it and happy to introduce my culture here in Nevada City Farmers Market. Living after a year, we got accepted. We introduced an amazing community. I got inspired a lot more. People didn't know about, but willing to try the food and appreciate a lot and ask us where they can find us. So it gave us to think about the opportunity where we can do more in this community. So excited about that. And what else? Yeah, this is a little bit about me, and then the rest Theron is gonna taking care of.
Thank you, I'm Theron, and yeah, the short answer to why we're here is the overwhelming response we've cultivated from we've received from the community here. It's anecdotal, but I'd say a good 60% of our customers ask, where can we find you? Do you have a brick and mortar? Those type of questions. And so, yeah, we were able to move that model here, and it's been amazing. We, in addition to the Nevada City Farmers Market, we're there every Saturday. We've also worked the Hot Summer Nights, the Victorian Christmas. This is definitely where our crowd is. We really love it. We do believe that Nevada City can support another coffee shop. And when you consider Ethiopian food as a draw, we think that would differentiate clearly, and it's appropriate when you think, coffee originated in Ethiopia. So it's a nice blend. We do believe that our 4 years plus of business experience would transfer nicely here, and we could. This seems like the right expansion for us. It's not too big. It's not too small. We know the market to some degree. We know what would sell, to put it one way, immediately, but we want to also challenge ourselves and grow, and I think the space would allow for that. In end of the day, we're members here of this community, and we want to continue to bring this culture and enrich the community that's enriched us. So this is one of the concepts of many that you might see in the RFI. When we talk about vision, we can talk about look and feel. The aesthetic here would be very clean, but definitely Ethiopian. This concept is using basically the real dimensions of the space, the existing counter that started, and so forth. Again, it would be an espresso bar, but we'd like to add some Ethiopian twists to that. You could imagine a turmeric latte or an iced and spiced Yirgacheffe coffee. We would have a lunch and breakfast menu, which would include a lot of Ethiopian classics. I could talk about the food all day, but we've also been pretty innovative, and we've invented our own dishes that are really very authentic with Ethiopian flavors, but are twists. And one of those, like the Ethiopian grilled cheese sandwich, those sell very well. So we've got a lot of great ideas. She's got the experience and the understanding, and again, yeah, we would just love to share the vision and the culture. If there's time, we have a little video that we could play.
Yep. Kyle, go ahead and cue that.
Ambitiousness there.
Confidence.
Yeah, would love to. Obviously, some of the things you see in those concepts are contingent on permitting and so forth, but would love to answer any questions now, or if that's later, or.
The plan is for the, unless you guys want to change it up, you are council.
What?
We didn't hear what you said.
I didn't hear that.
I think the plan was to have you guys do Q&A after each presentation.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
What? I still didn't hear, sorry.
It's a question and answer session directly from council to them right now.
Okay.
Do we do public comment on each one or at the end?
I think you could do public comment on the end. If that's council's desire.
Do you roast your own coffee beans?
Yes.
Can you tell me what varietals you use? My sister was in this business, so I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, we do hand roasted. Theron does that job usually, but we got a single source Yurga Cafe, which is a very famous coffee that there's so many kind, but we keep it. The Yurga Cafe one is a very popular one. So yeah, definitely we do it hand roasted before the market. It's a very fresh, very unique. With the farmers market, we use old-fashioned Kawe pot that takes a quiet time, but it's very unique. So, yeah.
Thank you, and I believe
You're
I
welcome.
caught that you now live here in town?
We live in Grass Valley.
Yes.
Yes.
We've been here 3 years.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's that place that's like 5-10 minutes away, right?
Yeah.
That's close.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have any questions. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Just for clarity, you are interested in inhabiting the cafe space without the use of the kitchen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And where is your cooking happening?
We work out of a commercial kitchen in downtown Grass Valley.
Okay. And so stuff will be prepped there and then brought?
Yeah, this space would allow for a similar model to the farmer's market, where a lot of the preparation happens ahead of time, and then there'd be assembling, point of purchase type of preparation and serving.
Excellent. Thank you.
Is the idea also that you'd have like grab and go?
Yeah, absolutely,
Fast lunches.
especially for a breakfast menu, I think. That's where some of these innovative ideas around, Ethiopian pastry pockets, for lack of a better word, and that type of thing, yeah.
Nice.
I've eaten a lot of Ethiopian food, and I think they invented grab and go with the bread, right? You just
Yeah.
and grab the food and eat it.
I can
Yes.
confidently say she makes the best injera in Nevada County.
I bet.
And that's what it's called, injera. It's a sourdough flatbread, yeah. Ubiquitous to the food, and you eat with your hands, yes.
Grab and go, right?
And grab and go.
Wonderful. Thank
Which
you.
I think is great. There's not a lot of grab and go here.
Yeah,
There's a lot of pay and wait,
yeah.
which is great. It's also good. But I know, in the early morning, sometimes I want more grab and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we're going to have Water and Air Catering, which will be presented by Taylor and Blake. Come on up, you guys. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Hello, everyone.
Mic check, mic check. Well, thank you for having us here. This is a great experience to witness in itself. So we are Water and Air Catering. My name is Blake. This is my wife, Taylor. We moved.
Wait, hold on. Let's get our slides going.
Oh, all right.
It'll be no more than 20 minutes.
That's not true.
You think it'll be more than 20
Hang on.
minutes to get their slides going?
I went to music school, so improving.
There we go.
Just this guy?
There we go.
Okay, cool.
I think you can tell who's who.
Yeah, profile.
Oh, let's go back.
Again, thank you for having us here. Yeah, we're very excited to be here and to present to you why we would love to be the next concessionaire for the Miners Foundry. So thank you. And like I said, my name is Blake. This is my wife, Taylor. There's a third character here on the slide, and it's our dog.
And our water and air mascot.
Don't worry, he doesn't have a food handler's permit, so he won't be in the kitchen by any means.
What's his name?
His name's Bilbo Baggins.
Bilbo Baggins, yes. So I'll start with me, and then we can work on. I grew up outside of Seattle. I grew up in a hospitality family. At the age of 8, I was tasked with dressing up as an Easter bunny for my dad's catering events. It was very hot. It was lovely. And since then, I went to school for hospitality business management from Washington State University. Worked in hotels and restaurants for, not including the 8-year-old aspect of it, about 11 years all across the country. A short stint in Italy as well, and eventually I met my wife, and so now we're a team. And
My name's Taylor, and I grew up here in Nevada County. I went to Nevada City School of the Arts and Nevada Union High School. In 2012, I moved to Seattle, Washington to pursue my music education, and I received my bachelor's degree in vocal performance and composition. During my stint, I lived in Seattle for about 12 years. I worked in pretty amazing, prestigious restaurants and ran a couple James Beard nominated restaurants. And then in 2019, I met this man over here, and shockingly enough, we met in a restaurant. And during that time, there was a lot of banter, and I think first and foremost, we fell in love with each other's work ethic. We work really hard, we have a lot of fun, and most importantly, we treat everyone with a lot of integrity and respect in restaurants, because it's not an easy business, and it's something that we wholeheartedly believe in terms of fairness and integrity. So why the Miners Foundry? Like I said, I have lived here for a very long time. I grew up here. And really the heart of Nevada City's cultural and creative life, it has been the Miners Foundry. I've seen some of the most incredible bands and incredible events during my time growing up in Nevada County, including the Golden Shoulders.
Who's that?
And really, it's important that we, as we mentioned, we bought a house here in November of last year, and I was pleasantly surprised when Blake wanted to come back here and start our roots and grow our small but budding family. We understand business, and we understand the legacy of the Miners Foundry and its potential. And although we have a ton of management experience and a ton of operational experience, it's really the stewardship that we envision for whoever takes over the Miners Foundry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what we really love truly about just an event is, vibrant, fun, beautiful food, beautiful libations, and, people working hard, running around, sweating in the kitchen, making sure that everything is looking nice and beautiful and tasty. Nearly 3 decades of hospitality experience combined between us, and our slogan for our business is a story in every bite. I know that's a bit cheesy, but we truly believe that. And we're just really excited to be here and just to be able to answer any questions that you might have, and really offer, our expertise and our excellence in a community that we want to be a part of, and that we want to try and develop, that we really feel invested in. So.
And at the Miners Foundry, we know it's community impact. and protecting its legacy is super important for us. As we said, we moved here with the intention of starting a family and really planting roots in this community. And as someone who grew up here, I know the importance of community centers like this. So the idea of bringing our expertise and bringing what we know and what we are fully able to do is something that's really exciting to both of us, so that future generations can experience the Foundry and all that it has offered me in my life, as well as to the budding generations. We're also really lucky to have the local farmers that we do. This community is, as I'm currently working with Sierra Harvest, working with one of their events. And really, it's just so incredible, the amount of farming that we have here and the amount of resources that we have to continue to put into this farming and really make it sustainable and really respecting the land that continues to sustain us and feed us all. And that's really our mission at Water and Air Catering. And really creating these experiences and collaborating with all the musicians here. I myself am a musician. I have a background in events, and really welcoming and including all voices in this community to these events. It's really exciting, the idea. Our intention is to take over the, not the cafe portion, but the catering and the bar side. And working with people like Sika would be an incredible opportunity for this community. So we are really open to collaborating and really excited about the idea of bringing in outside people, musicians, vendors, and really the artisanal makers in this community that make Nevada County what it is. And the Miners Foundry is such a pivotal and important aspect of that community.
So yeah, thank you for listening. I know we're probably talking very fast here, but
we timed ourselves. We thought it was really serious.
we've been rehearsing this all day. So why us? I hope so far that you've gathered that we want this responsibility and that we're eager to pursue here. Hospitality is in our blood. We love food and beverage. We love taking care of people. And we want things to go well and be efficient. And we love community, and we love this community as well. So,
yeah, we're committed to raising our family here and growing the Foundry as part of Nevada City's future. And we bring that collaborative spirit. Blake and I have worked with a number of chefs in this world, some easier to deal with than others, and we've dealt with a lot of artists and vendors and nonprofits, and believe that that aspect of it is really, really important to enriching programming and broadening the impact that the Miners Foundry has. That stewardship mindset, as we mentioned, for us, it's not just a contract with the Miners Foundry. It's important as we set roots here and as we start to bring in our own family, that we really establish and own up to the fact that it's a huge responsibility to take care of one of Nevada City's most beloved cultural spaces.
yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah.
I'm glad you are. Thank you for that heartfelt presentation. I really felt you guys in that. Story in every bite. I would love more story here tonight. You've got some great bullet points here, and I've read through the packet and I understand your proposal, but for the people in the audience and the people at home who maybe haven't done that work, tell me a little bit more specifically about your vision for, and just to remind folks in the audience and at home, there are three pieces here. There's the bar, there's the kitchen, and there's the cafe. Mm-hmm. And so we're asking folks to give us ideas about who wants to run any of these, a combination of them, pieces of them. And so really today, we're not picking any business, but we're hearing ideas so that we can better understand what we want, so that when we ask for proposals, you can give us the types of proposals that we want. So anyways, I just wanted to give that context here right now and ask you guys, thank you. Can you tell me a little bit more about your vision for the bar and the kitchen?
You want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. So as we said, and as we've mentioned, both of us have an incredible hospitality background. And I also have a huge music background, which started here. My parents owned restaurants in Grass Valley and Nevada City and owned a bar, the Copper Top Lounge, way back when in Grass Valley. I kind of grew up in that setting, and so did Blake, which I think is kind of a part of our connection. I think that when you think about this RFI and when we really thought about this proposal, it was important that we separated ourselves and our egos from this idea, because to me, what I'm hearing in all of this is the sense of collaboration. It's really, really important that all of these vendors, because we are individual vendors that you're choosing, and I think it's really important that we're able to collaborate with whoever decides to take over the cafe, with whoever decides to take over the talent acquisition in this space. And I think when I think about those things in a standpoint of a business model, it has to be community first. And I think really to support, I mean, you've seen the menus, and we're happy to give menus to whoever would like menus out there. But I think in terms of the going into the Miners Foundry, it's really important that we approach it with a collaborative mindset. So I'm not really sure if that answers your question, but
Yeah,
if you want to.
Can I add something?
yeah, of
there?
course.
Yeah. So I think I understand the nature of your question. Essentially, you're saying, okay, what new ideas do we have here? What are we going to do?
What will it look like on day-to-day basis? What will that kitchen and bar look like?
Oh, operationally.
Absolutely, absolutely. I completely understand. You know, we came here today, and you know, it's hard to come up with a list of ideas if you don't have the numbers behind it, right? So I don't know what you did in sales last year or the year before. So essentially, our idea here is, okay, what do we have in terms of space, right? We have a beautiful auditorium. I've been there several times within the past year, and the concerts are amazing. You have a beautiful wedding space. You have a great bar section. Your kitchen it's good.
Not as beautiful.
It's good. It works. It works. You have equipment. It's
works.
good. And I'm sorry. No, I'm not trying. I'm not trying to offend.
No,
Yeah.
there's no need to sugarcoat it.
So what can we do with that space? Okay, right? So events. That's our nature, right? It's events. So it's concerts. It's cookouts. It's a Friday night special. It's a pop-up. We can get local chefs in here. We can get, anybody who wants to get their name out. We can help them with the events. So I think this was kind of what you were alluding to, is that we can just kind of, this is a hub for the community.
Yeah. And it's important that the programming revolves around that, right? It's important that when we think about the talent acquisition, we're also thinking about the programming specific to Nevada County and maybe beyond, the outreach beyond. And, partnering with nonprofits like Sierra Harvest and really introducing chefs that might not necessarily have a brick and mortar, but really want to do something special, we have that space. And we have that management and operational and marketing experience to make those types of things happen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marketing. What experience do you have in marketing, and what media would you use?
All of the medias. The social medias, the screen medias, all of the medias. I worked for a company in Seattle, a catering company that did $7 million in revenue every single year. I worked for the Nordstrom family and did all of their private events, and so did Blake. During that time, I led all of the social media campaigns. I did all of the content campaigns, and I'm currently working with Sierra Harvest to do all of the event planning and marketing for their upcoming fundraisers. So we have all of that knowledge. Social media is a tricky thing, but it is it's necessary, and it's important that you, again, kind of like remove your ego and really hone in on kind of like how can the marketing and how can the space really lead and lend itself to events and to community that might not necessarily always be super savvy to those types of things. And I think the marketing has to extend just beyond that as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, you guys.
Yeah.
You'd mentioned, it sounds like you would want to take on a lot. Do you anticipate that meaning you cut back on catering jobs? Would this be what you do? Or would it be part of what you do if you took on the foundry, all the stuff?
Ideally, a part of what we do. We understand that this is now a government-owned facility. And so, it'd be nice if we could maybe tie that into it, Okay, we have an outside event, maybe we can use the kitchen kind of as a commissary kitchen of sorts. So that it's not necessarily a deal breaker, but if that's a possibility, we'd love to talk about that.
It would be a huge component to what we do.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's two of us is, we feel really fortunate in both like having both of our brains work together to figure this out. And I think the catering and the bar is one component, and then working with whoever the talent acquisition manager is another component.
Yeah.
And we're both very willing to work with that person to procure events that are meaningful in this community. So it would be a very large aspect of what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also grew up in a hospitality family. My parents also owned a bar. I have a great therapist if you want a phone number. But I just know how much it's taking on a lot, and that's why I ask.
Absolutely.
The work, just the workload's enormous. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all very much.
You want me to click or you want to click?
You got the clicker. Wonderful. Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us. Right. Third time. Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate the time you're giving us and giving everyone to pitch their ideas and say what they think could be great at the Miners Foundry. I think it's a really cool and unique opportunity that doesn't happen everywhere and couldn't happen everywhere. So I think it's a really fun thing to drive Miners Foundry into the next version of itself and make it really special for Nevada City. So my name is Travis Parsley. This is my wife, Kimmy Milo, and we run Nine Coins Hospitality. So small boutique hospitality group, just the two of us. So you probably know Kimmy from Piety Hill Cottages. So we've owned and operated Piety Hill Cottages since 2020. That's Kimmy's main job every day is running that, and I do all of the unskilled labor that when she tells me to do it. You probably know me partly in the community. Over the last 4 years, I served as the lead creative over at the National Exchange Hotels bar program, so helped get that place opened and running over the last few years. Like others here, I have about 25 years of hospitality experience in the great state of Arizona. They allow you to start bartending early, so I started bartending when I was 19 years old. And I've been in hospitality ever since, working at different hotels and corporations throughout the country. I've been in beer, wine, and liquor sales. I was the beverage director for Hyatt Lake Tahoe. I was the assistant director of restaurants for the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno. Atlanta, Arizona, kind of all over in the hospitality world. You move around a little bit. So that was part of the reason we decided to buy Piety Hill Cottages, so we could continue on that hospitality journey and stay in one place and start to put roots down. So that is kind of what we've done. Over the last 4 years, we've done a lot of work over there. We've renovated every single unit that we've had. We just moved out to a different house, and we've renovated our old house into a unit, we're changing our lobby into a unit, and we're doing more things over there. So now we're starting to move to that next step for us, and the next step for us is moving into a brick and mortar craft cocktail bar here in Nevada City. So what we're working on now is Pleased to Meet You. So Pleased to Meet You is our cocktail concept, local craft cocktail bar. Think your favorite neighborhood bar with elevated cocktails. Everything is made very meticulously and to perfection every single time, with very knowledgeable, great service from the staff. Yet we don't take ourselves seriously at all. It's all unpretentious, it's all welcoming. It's the place where you can get off of work and come sit by yourself and feel comfortable having a cocktail in a nice, beautiful, airy space, never too dark, never too light. The music, the design is all part of the atmosphere and part of what is going into the project. You won't sit down and be overtaken by a band that's playing. You won't be trying to turn your flashlight on in the corner because it's too dark to see what's on the menu. Rotating cocktail menus seasonally based on local spirits, regional spirits, fresh juices and fruits, herbs and things like that. So all of those wonderful farms that we do have in town make lots of cool things that don't just go in food, which is lots of fun, and I feel it's a little bit underutilized. We'll also have a freezer cocktail program, which is a pretty fun thing that a lot of big city cocktail bars do. You have a big, nice freezer, and you have all of your martinis and your Negronis and your Vespers pre-batched, so they're exactly the same every single time. When somebody comes in, you can have that exact specification all the time. And then it also lends itself to industry people and locals and things like that, where you can have specials that helps bring in the locals, because as we all know, tourism is wonderful and it's great. Being in hospitality, it's amazing, but you need your locals too. And those are just as important through the lean months as in a nice escape and taking care of that person you see 12 months out of the year, as opposed to the tourist that comes once a year. So we want to be that neighborhood local gathering spot that feels like you've just discovered your new favorite spot. The one that you go tell your friends about, the ones that as people come in from the Bay or from LA or from Sacramento or Reno, they hear, oh, we got to go try this place. And I think Nevada City is starting to build a little bit of that culture with lots of really good restaurants that have popped up, some good cocktail programs and things that have popped up, and we want to be the next step in that direction. We also know that it kind of fills a void that we have in Nevada City. There's a lot of good music venues, there's a lot of good dive bars, there's a lot of good restaurant bars. There's not a good, let's go sit and have a good drink, whether it's with your friends, when your parents are in town for the holidays, when it's that night on Thanksgiving and you just need to get out of the house and not go sit in a dark, dingy, smoky patio, but just have a nice place to go. And then, with the liquor license and things like that, obviously it's a little more complicated with California. So, something that's simple and easy to execute from a food perspective, whether it be in the cafe or, the whole spirit of this operation is having some back and forth and working with the other vendors. So we would love to explore working with other vendors to have some of those food options and things available for the bar space. And just some kind of cocktails and some vibey thought process pictures of what we're looking for. So that's that part, the logistics of it, just working together with the city, working with our Type 47 liquor license. Nine Quince Hospitality would handle the renovations and paying for all of that and putting it together, and then work with the city to have some sort of repayment plan to go from kind of a hollow shell cafe into a fully functional turnkey bar cafe. We're looking at probably putting our budget and numbers together, about $180,000 to get it from where it is now to opening the doors and running it for about 6 months, and through business reserves and some private investment, we're about 80% funded already on that project. So we're well on our way to getting that working. You go to the next one. And then just some more fun pictures. And then the second half of our proposal, Miners Fender has a bar in it right now that works great for weddings and works great for concerts and things like that. we see Pleased to Meet You as in addition to, not as a competition to. That Pleased to Meet You would be something on a Monday evening when there's nothing going on at the Miners Foundry that people could come to. But with my extensive background in hospitality, I do beverage consulting. Right now is my job. I'm doing a bunch of stuff for Visit Sacramento right now, so I'd love to bring it back into Nevada City as well. But running the Miners Foundry Bar from a consultant perspective of coming in, finding the pinch points, finding the parts that's making that bar not run the way that it needs to, why there's long lines during shows, why it's maybe not making the money that it needs to. So going through all cost analysis, doing inventory analysis, all those things, and working with the city and Miners Foundry with the managers and the staff that you already have there to get that running into an efficient operating bar. You know, I think it's a beautiful space. I think it's a really wonderful bar for events. I don't see it as a standalone everyday bar that people would just go hang out at, but I think that it can be a very good bar for concerts and for weddings, and building packages with the cocktail bar next door. Intermission between a show, people can go to the Miners Foundry Bar and get their whatever they're having. If they want something that's a little more craftier, they just need to step out of the music for a little bit, we'd have the bar right there on the side as well to work in conjunction with the rest of everything else that's going on. And it would also help streamline things, and it would offer, you know, our brides and grooms that come in, if we're doing, you know, a Friday night dinner with Blake and his team, it's here's a bespoke cocktail that's made just for this event, that we can make batchable, we can make efficient, and we can serve it all the way through. And then between the two places, you know, it gives us a little bit of a larger footprint from our vendor's perspective, so it gives you a little bit more of that buying power. So you're not buying a 6-pack of something that costs you $30 a bottle, you can buy a 12-pack and it's only $25 a bottle. So there's little savings in having a little bit more of a footprint when it comes to those things. Go to the next one. So then just kind of touch on some of the core contract management services, you know, again, bar standardization, making sure everything's standard across the board. So no matter who's working behind there, everything's coming out the same every time. So, you know, your costs are in order, you know, your pours are in order, things like that. Staffing and training, labor optimization, beverage program development. And again, working with brides and grooms for your weddings. I think that's a big push point for the Miners Foundry, especially with the rates. I think that'll be a really wonderful thing for Nevada County and for Nevada City residents to get that really nice discounted rate. So working within that framework to helping make everybody's most special day ever their most special day. And then that's kind of what we're offering through those things. And then that's our presentation. And I'd love to take any questions from anybody if anyone has any. Thanks so much.
I noticed that you, the Pleased to Meet You would operate from, you think maybe 4 to the evening?
Yeah, 4 to 10 probably during the week, and then 4 to midnight on the weekends.
Do you envision anything happening in the cafe in the afternoon or midday?
Sure. So my expertise and our expertise is not food. You don't want me cooking anywhere near the kitchen. But that's what we think makes this project so unique and such a great opportunity, is to have something that could be in that cafe space during the day, whether it be a coffee shop or grab and go in the morning, or whether it's a sidearm of a catering that's operating out of the kitchen that has sandwiches or packaged foods or anything that could be offered in there that could also bleed into the evening operations as well, to have food. You know, trying to open a bar early in the morning and run it all the way through isn't in the cards for us. But that's why we think this is a really great opportunity, because there is that room for collaboration to have that option if that's the desire to have it open all day for people.
Good to hear it. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you for your presentation.
Wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ron? We're going to take a brief bio break, and we'll be right back. 5-6 minutes, possibly 6.5. And we're back. Our next presenter
All right.
on the respondents.
Yes, thanks so much. All right, I'm going to ask Lydia and Zach to come up from Zalton Company. Come on up, you guys.
Can you call people in?
Yeah. Everyone, we got our next respondents here, so if we could find our seats and hush a little bit.
That's
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
How are you?
Good. We good? We can get started? Yeah. Okay. My name's Lydia. I recent transplant to Nevada County. Just moved here a few years ago. My husband just retired from the military. We're so excited to be able to lay some roots down here. So, loving Nevada County and really, really excited for all of the good stuff with the Foundry.
My name's Zach. I've lived in Grass Valley since 2018 and worked at several different restaurants, hotels around the area. So, pleasure to be here.
So we're going to go ahead and get started. We kept it pretty simple. Happy to answer any questions y'all might have. This is basically just our outline, but the goal is to create a model that is community-centered, operationally efficient, and financially beneficial, of course. That's also important. So just kind of at a glance here, the model includes two different aspects. The kitchen we would utilize as a commissary kitchen and a host kitchen, and it's a good opportunity for some passive income as well. And then the bar, our recommendation would be to contract through the Miners Foundry. I didn't get a ton of detail about where the liquor licensing is. I know it's pretty complex, but if at all possible, the recommendation would be that it's contracted and the Miners Foundry retains profits and money stays in-house. To break that down a little more specifically.
So offering the Miners Foundry Kitchen as a commissary space would provide a needed asset to the local community. It also provide the Foundry with a low overhead revenue stream. We'd be supporting local community members, small businesses, by providing the Foundry with a pool of trusted local vendors for private events or catering events. As a host kitchen, the Miners Foundry could offer vendors potentially to have the opportunity to host pop-up or supper club style events, offering opportunities for additional rental revenue and supporting local small businesses with some unique ventures and opportunities they might not have access to otherwise. And in with that, we'd recommend creating like a preferred vendor program in addition, and it would encourage the use by the Miners Foundry of local businesses while also providing an additional revenue stream from dues, rent, fees for vendors, et cetera.
So with the preferred vendor program, one of the larger pieces is it prioritizes your Nevada County vendors. So they would essentially go on a preferred vendor list, if you will. The commissary users are obviously way less risk. They'll be insured. They'll know the space. So there's a lot less risk in having them as preferred members. Outside vendors that are not necessarily looking to use the commissary, but still want to be a part of that, the recommendation would be, and this is something that would obviously need to be carefully mapped out, but some form of dues, and nothing astronomical, but something that is going to contribute to really just the Foundry in general, the upkeep and otherwise. So some sort of programming like that is recommended, and then any vendors outside of Nevada County, the recommendation would be obviously to charge a higher fee, mostly because they're not familiar with the space. You'll likely have to pay somebody to be there to host and make sure that they're aware of where things are, those sorts of things. So considering that for preferred vendors. Bar operations. So recommendation here would be to hire a contractor to manage bar operations. That would include staffing, inventory, ordering, and service coordination. The leadership oversight is a very necessary piece of it, but ensuring that the contractor kind of just is there to manage the logistics. The Miners Foundry can then just retain possession of the brand, if you will, and via contract, I strongly feel that financially it would work a lot better for the Foundry to see a little better return there. key takeaways here. Bar profit stays, money stays in-house. The kitchen helps keep the lights on, if you will. You'll have some rental agreements, basically renting commissary by the hour. And then local vendors gain opportunity, exposure, and build community. As Chef referenced, the host kitchen piece of that opens up for a lot of vendors that don't have the food trucks that are just getting started. There's very few here in Nevada County, and in relation to commissary as well. The commissary kitchens, depending on which you're in, they're not always fully equipped. Very nice benefit that there is a hood and a stove, for example, with the foundry, so things like that I think could go
But it's
a long
not beautiful, as we heard.
Yeah, you know, honestly, we have.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder,
That's
right?
right. That's right. We've seen.
Compared to some places I've been, it's quite beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, and the functional piece of it is important too. And there's not a whole ton of commissary kitchens here locally with a hood and a stove, so it's a big perk and something that could hopefully be utilized in a good way. Questions?
So would you actually be doing food service, or this sounds to me like you're managing facilities?
Right, so essentially with the commissary kitchen, that would enable the foundry to have a number of vendors that would work into scheduling. It'd have to be outside of event hours, of course. But then you kind of have that stream there, and it's mostly managing the scheduling of it. If there is an event or otherwise that needs catering, that's when you would defer to the preferred vendor list, and then select a vendor, hopefully a Nevada County vendor, to, for whatever event, brides or otherwise, will have that list, hopefully select from it. And then, like I said, if it's outside of the county, somebody that's not familiar with the space, it's best to increase rates on that.
Remind me, there's a lot of details amongst all the presentations. This is for bar, kitchen, and cafe, or not cafe?
Bar, kitchen, no cafe.
That's right, okay. Got it.
And any confusion about the difference between a commissary kitchen and a host kitchen?
Why don't you explain it?
Yeah, of course, of course. So the commissary kitchen is essentially where businesses without a mobile food facility, if you will, the food trucks require a bit of commissary as well, but it is the space that you go to prepare all the food. You're doing it in a permitted space that is obviously the sanitation and otherwise has been reviewed, so it's important. And your host kitchen, essentially, and we did check in with the health department because I wanted to make sure these were like viable options. Adding on the host kitchen permit, which I don't believe is much, I think it was between $200 and $500 to add the permit on. And what that does is you essentially are able to host like the micro pop-ups in accordance with what they're permitted for. So as just a catering vendor, if you will, we can participate in events, but it has to be a community event or a private event, if you will. Outside, we can't just park at a gas station and try to sell, essentially. And so that's where the difference is in permitting for a mobile food facility versus some of your smaller micro catering businesses. That makes sense?
And yeah, thank you for that. And I imagine, because you're a food person, you're a chef, and cook some mean barbecue, so I hear.
It's the word on the street. Yeah.
What's that?
It's the word on the street.
It is
yeah.
the word on the street. I imagine that you see that there is a need for something like this. I can think of half a dozen people in my
I can think of half a dozen
life.
vendors off the top of my head that would
Same.
that would be
Yeah.
potentially interested in
And
utilizing
really,
this space.
the bigger push is because there's a hood and a stove.
Right.
Like, you don't have access to that in many spaces locally here in the county for commissary kitchens.
But I think this outlines kind of a sustainable program for the Foundry going forward, because with weddings and events coming in, brides are going to want to choose vendors and choose their caterers, you know. So it's just a rough, an outline of how that's set up for the Foundry to
Right.
function, yeah.
For the preferred vendor list.
Yeah.
Precisely, yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm hearing a lot of management stuff, and then I just heard that you're good at making barbecue, but I haven't heard anything about you making food there. What's going on? What's that about?
Well, I mean,
We'd love to be included as a preferred vendor, and we'd love to, be able to utilize the host kitchen, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
You hungry? We can do that.
Of course I'm hungry. We've been
Okay.
talking about food for an hour. I'm
Yeah.
starving.
Yeah, we got you.
I had each of them just bring a bucket if someone could pass them around.
Barbecue, cocktails,
No
injera.
samples, no.
Bucket of cocktails.
No, I don't even want to think about it.
You could just host like a tasting menu with all the preferred vendors when you secure them and then see.
Sounds like a great idea,
You
possibly
see?
also corrupt in some way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Awesome, thanks, Cal.
It's a different.
All right, council, thanks so much. Next up, we have Latin Asian Fusion, and Roddy will be here to present.
That's
Roddy,
where
come
the
on up.
break comes, the split comes.
Good evening, everyone. Evening.
Yeah.
So how does this work? I just click. So my presentation, I'm going to get a little bit technical here because there are 3 parts of this venue. I did get a chance to do a walkthrough, and I think the biggest challenge is the alcohol, not be able to collect money as a city. We cook and manage venues for a lot of places in the Bay Area, and there is a trend right now. So after COVID, things change. And it's not the way it used to be. Labor has gone up, insurance is through the roof, and liabilities and risk for alcohol is a little bit higher. So that's the biggest challenge that we're seeing. We cook food ourselves. We manage events ourselves as a way to collect data to be able to manage these events. And we work with different cities. We just picked up a contract with the city of Santa Clara because they're facing some issues like this too. So we're starting to work with them with one of their libraries, and we're moving on to citywide to handle some of their venues that have a little bit of challenges. The bar, the first, let me see, how can I click to the last page? I want to take you to the numbers really quickly. And by all means, the venue is great, but I just want to walk you through the numbers and why I want to start here. I'm sure you saw our background. My wife and I, we have backgrounds in hospitality and running real estate. With different softwares. We use a lot of artificial intelligence and technology to identify challenges and reporting and stuff like that. But why am I taking you to these numbers is because this is where the food and beverage industry is going to go. And I think if the city would like to make an investment into, for example, the cafe, turning that into a commissary kitchen, so people that cannot afford paying a $4,000 or $5,000, facility, a brick and mortar, can actually work in the cafe as a commissary kitchen and pay by the hour. I run this program for a private 30-acre property in Santa Cruz with the support of Senator Joan Lair. We had a lot of support from the state, from the city. We took that program from zero with private facility and public sector, and we took it to almost $500,000. Almost 50 businesses in no time sign up, and they were able to produce food, make income, and this is all during COVID. So our vision will be for the cafe to be turned into a commissary kitchen little by little. This has to be very conservative because the cost is extremely high nowadays. It's extremely high. And construction, refrigeration, everything is extremely high. So, and I'm sure there's grants available for everyone, but the cost to do a build-out is extremely high. So our vision is to keep the Foundry the way it's running, event-based. Event-based for now, make it run and do little upgrades little by little. With the conservative approach of spending, if you make $2 million next year, maybe allocating a little bit of that money towards building something to be able to get to a particular goal, right? We as the operators, we also have a cost. We have a cost with workers' comp, insurance, general liability. If we take on the bar, the cafe, plus the food operations, there's going to be a little bit of a cost of management that. And as I explained earlier, insurances are really hurting small businesses right now. Even when it comes down to liquor, if you are an event-based venue, your liquor license and your insurance is a little bit low because it's considered, not low, but medium risk. When you do operations day to day and, you're doing cocktails, the risk is a little bit higher, right? So your insurance is a little bit higher. And you already heard the cost to open a location, almost $180,000, $200,000. That's just the bottom line for a setup for a bar. One of the vendors were contemplating. That's just the bar. That's not including a kitchen. So our approach will be to take the city in small steps, little by little, use what you currently have, make it better, make procedures. What was working, let it continue to work, just make it better. What wasn't working, remove it, so you don't waste money in that, and then allocate those funds to something that is working. Marketing is something that we do very well. We use technology, so I'm not going to emphasize too much on that. But my point today is basically take the city in smaller steps, so the city doesn't spend money, we don't spend too much money all at once, and we don't know if it's going to work or not because of the risk of insurance and things like that. And then you transition the operations little by little. We set small goals, 4 goals every year. We're going to do this project this year, and then we move on like that, while operating the food, the catering, finding a way to make the bar run, but only as an event-based setup, not a day-to-day operation. An event-based can be considered a community event-based on a Saturday afternoon, Sunday, something on a Sunday daytime, event-based only, because the cost to run operations, let's say Monday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., is extremely expensive. Versus you do events, they apply for a permit, you have the team to recover, so you don't burn out the team, and then you go on like that. It's what's working for us down on that side with different venues, and the cost is extremely low. And that also comes from restaurants. That restaurants are also suffering for the same reason. People are not, because of the cost is too high, people are not going to restaurants as much. So they're having more experiences. So we ourselves, we do more cooking classes, for example. We charge $150, and we book a lot of corporations that way. But it's experiences that people are willing to pay. Freshness, organic, but it's experiences. The restaurants are really having a hard time right now. So for those reasons, our approach will be to work together with the city, see what works, small steps, little by little. We can send you proposals on any type of request. We have real estate background. We also have vendors on the books, and we can utilize everything by being more efficient using technology for the most part. We cook ourselves as well. So any questions? I'm sorry if I went in different directions. It's been a long day today.
That's good.
That's okay. What is your name?
Rody, by the way.
Hi.
Nice.
Thank you for that. I'd love to know more about you. You said we a lot. I'm not sure who we is. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your connection to Nevada City. Why Nevada City? I'd love to know more about that piece.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So I've been around for 25 years. I come from VP levels working for Compass Group, those big food service providers. My nationality, I'm from Ecuador, South America. My wife is Chinese. And we are just a group of hospitality people. She graduated from Oxford University in hospitality management. I come from the ground up. I have a business management degree. And we've been doing this because we both love the connection. Actually, our marriage works because we have this communication about food and business and events. So, and we have 3 kids. So we do quite a few events in Sacramento. We're in Sacramento twice a month. Mm-hmm. And we started to expand a little bit more out this way as well. But we're very conservative in what we do. So we take small steps, we do it well, we finish it off, we create operational standard procedures, and then we move on like that. And that's been our process for the past 10 years.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
I think you indirectly answered my question, which is how local would your staff and management be?
So usually when we take over locations, we allocate 50% of local hiring, and the other 50% will come from our current team to train and staff it. During takeover situations, there is a transition period, and it takes about 6 months to train people to get them to a certain level of hospitality. So at the beginning, we do it like this, and then we transition into having a local manager, and then we just provide guidance, training. And the food and beverage industry never ends, to be honest with you. It's always training. Bars are really, really tough to run. You're sometimes there 16, 14 hours. Me, myself, I did an event at the Olympic Club this past week. I was there 14 hours, 10 days straight. So bars and food industry is very tough. So for us, we manage, we train, and we create leaders so they can create a system. We're all about systems. We're all about systems because there's accountability, there's progress, there's reporting, there's data that we collect. Therefore, we share that with our shareholders, and then we make decisions based on that data and that report. Because otherwise, in today's world, it's really, really tough to waste even $10. And it's just tough. I'm not sure how you guys see it on your side of the ballpark, but for us in this industry, I tell you, I've never seen something like this before. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to see us.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Yeah, I was curious too how you ended up in Nevada City. I mean, it's an impressive resume. A lot of people know who you are.
Yeah, we started focusing. We started focusing on working with cities for the past 3 years. Senator and I had a conversation. He said our experience can definitely help cities. So we bid only for jobs that we can handle. We don't go over what we cannot handle. Yeah, but we're very conservative as well. We go a step at a time and we explain. We're really detailed because we don't want to make any. We will make mistakes, but we want to make mistakes that are really low margins. But we like to offer our experience to make communities, build communities, and make them better, and create a system for that community so it benefits for years to come. And that's why we do this, more for the systems. It's like building a house, right? You build a house, and in a particular area, you develop a house, and a lot of people benefit from that. So that's who we are in a way.
Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thank you for your.
You were talking a lot about training folks and everything. Do you have a set menu, for instance, that you train? You're not here most of the time, is the impression I get. You're here to start it up, train people. Can you tell me about what it is you're training them to do and everything?
Our goal, if given the opportunity, we would analyze the whole entire operations, that we will make suggestions. If we are given the opportunity to run the bar operations, we would work with the current staff and then train them on how to, provide a quote to a particular client, how to use tapping systems better, things of that nature. And then create a SOP for that, and then manage people based on reports. We don't micromanage, but we empower people to manage themselves and their operations, because our experience will be on the back end. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
A lot of people like who?
All right, council, their final presentation tonight will be from Strike Gold, presented by Sabrina and Eva. Come on up.
Hello.
Very professional. Wait, you look familiar.
Guys in a while.
It's like you never left. Come on.
I might still be wearing the same outfit, honestly.
Hi, I'm Eva Whitmore.
Sabrina Simmons.
With the cats.
Right, that's it. But there's someone that doesn't like cats, right?
I'm allergic, that's all, but we don't have to talk about it.
Okay, yeah, I prefer we did.
I stopped eating them years ago.
So we saw the listing for the cafe at the Miners Foundry early this year and kind of started harassing Lon about it. And he was kind enough
Gentle nudges.
He was kind enough to take us into the space in March on a snowy day, the one snowy day of the year. And we have just been waiting for the opportunity to present what we think could be a great venture for the Foundry. So we have our proposal.
We failed on any sort of visual presentation, unfortunately, but it's in here.
It's okay.
somewhere. Yeah. So the short version, at least for me, is it would be really nice to have a very community-based kind of coffee hub, which I think honestly in this county, we really could do better with our coffee offerings. So something small, cozy, high-quality coffee, keeping the menu not too extensive. We're not looking to be Starbucks, right? We want something where you know the people working and you know the quality you're going to get. Offering light fare that people could we've even talked about maybe having little picnic lunches for people going to the Yuba. Grab your coffee, grab a little picnic lunch to go, but really supporting the community. You know, there's a lot of people that we've kind of grown to love over the years. I had a conversation with Kevin at the ham stand and said, hey, we're thinking of doing this. Would you be able to provide meat for us? And there's a sourdough company down in Grass Valley that we really love. So kind of grabbing from the people who know what they're doing and not trying to recreate everything ourselves.
And also really focusing on local vendors, local farmers, local vendors, the people that are already established in the community that, so we're trying to pull everybody in, thinking about it from a local perspective as well as visitors to the Foundry, the events that, like when we were at the council meeting just back a few weeks ago and talking about the half marathon that's going to take place, thinking about events like that and how could we, really work to, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just work to, highlight those things but again, keep it very local based and local vendors and, yeah.
Right. So having a place where, if you're a local, you feel comfortable. If you're a visitor, you kind of learn about all of these other things that are available here. But it would be really nice. I think it's an amazing little space. There's a lot of potential. It's so close to being finished. And, historically, I think you guys know our history, but I ran a cat cafe, which the cats were not part of. But, I had that for 7 years. So it was a matter of training everyone. I like to be really hands-on, and I am meticulous about this stuff. So it's not just slam out espresso shots, whatever, we don't care. It really is like, let's do a service for people, because I personally miss that,
And while I'm currently not in the food and beverage service industry, I went to UNLV to get my bachelor's degree, which is Nevada, Las Vegas. And while I was there, I worked on the Strip for 10 years in food and beverage. So have quite a bit of knowledge around running these types of businesses. So.
Do you guys have questions? We're just kind of like vomiting up things towards you and hoping that it's landing nicely.
The vision's very clear for us.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the same question I asked Sitka. Would you roast your own coffee?
At this time, we would not, but because I have been in coffee, there are roasters that we've worked with, and we actually have a very close friend who does roasting for a larger coffee company in the Bay Area, and he was like, I could roast for you as well. So I think the goal really here would be to start with a high-quality coffee, and then, yeah, it would be awesome to roast. But I've been in business long enough to know, don't take on everything at once, right? Start with getting out, getting it right, and then add on from there. But that would be phenomenal for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good, it's nice to see you.
Yeah, welcome back.
Well, thank you. No?
Always glad to see you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank
Great.
you. Thanks
Cool.
for your
Thanks
time,
so much.
everybody.
Appreciate it.
Appropriate now for public comment?
Yep.
Any public comment on this topic?
This is about the foundry, but it's not.
So we'll ask
Yeah,
you
but
to-
that's all right.
This is on this topic?
It's not specifically about food and beverage, about the foundry.
That's fine.
Oh, if you'd rather have the comments first on food and beverage, that's fine.
I don't know if there's any other comments. I was just checking with our attorney if it's.
Foundry related?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. My name is Daniel Zuckerman. I've been a part of the community for the past over 10 years. For 20 years, I was a musician down in the LA area. This coming weekend, I'm performing up at Lake Tahoe, and the following weekend, I'll be playing at the Foundry. And because, Mayor, you had spoken quite eloquently earlier this year about the richness of musicians and musical heritage of the area, it got me thinking about why isn't there some kind of a musician preferred list that the Foundry has? Because it often seems like I'm running to Reno or Napa or somewhere else when there's probably opportunities right here in Nevada City. Is it possible that the establishment of a musician preferred vendor list is something that the council would implement, or is it something I should take to just the staff to Lindsay or someone at Miners Foundry? I guess my vision for it is that you would have a group of musicians who would maybe pay a nominal sum like $100 or something, and that they would go on to a list, and from that list online, then there may be a link to their website. I mean, you could have it that people would pay to be on the list, or that there was just a predicate that they be part of Nevada County, or it could be that they have insurance and that the Foundry is named as beneficiary of that insurance, you know.
So we're not at that place yet. That's a totally new concept to us. We're working with people who want to be.
We're not supposed to engage with public comment in this way.
Well, this is on the topic. This is not.
It's not on topic. So,
We'll get you in contact with Lon before you leave here,
Okay.
so they can better understand what you want to present, and then we can go from there.
Okay, I was just confused because earlier tonight, when I heard people talk about preferred vendor or preferred catering or that type of thing, I thought this is already something that has been implemented at the Foundry, and so this would just be an add-on to, I see heads shaking in
I think
different formations.
part of it, so we have a very specific process that is required here in terms of how we take public comment. Council members are not supposed to comment on public comment, we just hear, and that public comment should be geared towards the topic that we're addressing. And so, for example, in the future, this public comment might be better on non-agendized items at the top of the meeting. And so that's
Okay.
kind of maybe why you're getting some looks and some checking in with other folks here, because
Okay.
we have a very specific, rigid process we have to follow. So
Okay.
Lon can connect with
Okay.
you on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other public comment? Okay. Provide staff direction for criteria for a future bid process.
I'd like to go to the next step.
Yeah.
So essentially what we're looking for is feedback from you, because, globally, we, got into this situation, partnering with Foundry board. There was a lot of vision work that went into what the Foundry might be someday by the existing board and the previous executive director. And, you know, we're trying to live that through into its creation, and that includes you awarding the outdoor dining area. That includes, you know, the cafe that's, you know, it's like one of the presenters said, is almost finished, ready to go. You know, there's a lot of moving parts here, but so we didn't know exactly, nobody knew exactly what the community's vision could be, how the space might be used. And so we couldn't create an RFP to say this is exactly what we want and bid on it. So this is an opportunity for you to hear from the community how they might envision using it. What we'd like to hear back from you is the things that you liked, the things that you didn't like, and what you might want us to include in a future RFP that would be very specific to what we wanted, and then people would bid and say, I'm going to do this particular function. If you coalesce around something tonight, then we could bring that back to the council. If you don't coalesce around something particular, then it could come back to a committee where we could have much more detailed discussion. But broadly, you heard tonight a cafe for a coffee bar, a cafe for coffee and food, cafe for a bar, cafe, kitchen, and bar proposal, kitchen and bar, and kitchen only with the bar being somebody else. So I think you heard, you know, across the
Was the
spectrum.
cafe, kitchen, and bar, all three?
That
There
was
one?
the Latin Asian fusion.
Oh, I missed that was the cafe as well.
Yeah.
Got it, thank you.
So from a practical standpoint, you know, if we're going to put out the RFP, it would be helpful to know the kitchen and bar have to go together for the liquor license purpose. They could be two different entities that propose together in a joint venture. The liquor license, the ABC will require that the food service providers be attached to the liquor license. That could be something that could be worked out in a concession agreement. But the cafe could be separate if you wanted it to be. So we would love to hear if you think that there should be a consideration of a separate cafe bid versus bar and restaurant. That wouldn't preclude someone from getting all three. They could propose, you know, to both bids. But if you didn't do that, it would exclude someone who only wanted to do the cafe. If you said we're going to have to combine them all together. And then I think something that I picked up from what you said, the questions as you asked, staff would like to optimize the use of all three aspects. In other words, the more the kitchen is used, the more it's open, the more it's used as a restaurant, the more the bar is used outside of events, because it's used as events now, but that's just more opportunity for revenue generation for the concessionaire, which is more opportunity for the city to receive more money, which is more opportunity for the city to invest that back into using the facility for other, you know, greater public uses. Same with the cafe space. The more it's open, the more hours of the day it's open. But if you said we just want a bar that's open from 9 o'clock at night till 2 in the morning, then you could say that, and we could plumb that into the RFP. So everything that came out tonight was great, and all of them will have an opportunity to respond to the RFP where you say, this is the lane we want to be in, and they say, this is how I'll fit in that lane. It may be different than what they presented tonight because the lane may be different than what they proposed, but I'm sure that they'll all, you know, get back to us with exactly how they would propose to fit into that once you establish what that is. So that's kind of the long-winded version of next steps are you give us input, and if we can put that into an RFP, we will, and bring it back to you. If we can't, we would like you to suggest which committee you want it to go to so that we can have more discussion, more refinement, and then get into an RFP to bring back to the council to release.
You want input now? You want direction now?
So are we just chatting and you're looking for consensus?
Yeah, broad strokes
I'm
and.
full of opinions I'm ready to spew.
How exciting.
Go, Lou.
Go.
I have really three criteria. Two of them I think are very general, one's very specific. One, I would love local ownership, staff, and management. I really do want this to be money coming into the community and being spent by the community, going back out into the community.
100%.
I'd like to see continuous use of all three spaces, as much use as they can possibly bear. And if we reach a breaking point, then hey, that's an opportunity for someone to start another business. Then this one is probably the most particular one, and maybe it's only just me. I would like to see the cafe take on a slightly different function than the other two entities, the kitchen and the bar. The cafe will be physically attached to a public space, a patio. And I think any proposal that integrates that, realizing that they'll be hosting not only their business, but also the wandering public who just comes in and sits down. Hopefully not coming down from, other places, but to relax.
Was that a jab at Grass Valley? I don't know what that was.
I'm not sure what
The proximity to a certain establishment and.
City Hall?
Yes, people wandering in from City Hall and just, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But to recognize that the person running the cafe is also host to a public space. I think that's the key.
Thanks, Lou.
End of spew.
So, couple of perspectives. I don't dispute anything that you say. I think there's a natural break here in separating, as Sean described, separating the cafe as a separate entity, which is not sort of in line with what you say, as a standalone business, and it does not preclude somebody from going after all three. Then I think it's the kitchen and the bar. I think in the RFP, it's that we have to, a couple of things. We have to be very clear about how the bar has to operate in order to satisfy our needs as a city and the liquor license needs. And at this point, we're just requesting information. We have not been specific enough about how that has to work because we can't run that bar. And I don't know whether that means somebody could contract it, and I know, but I think we need to be super clear about how that has to work in order, and that has to be included in the proposal so people know how to respond to that. Okay? Kitchen, okay, you're going to do, I don't know. The bottom line of this is, yes, it's community. I'm not arguing about local, because everybody would yell at me if I did. It is about community, but let's get real, folks. This is about business. This is about money. We have to pay for the foundry. We have to make sure it operates. We've constituted it as an enterprise fund so that every dime that gets made from that foundry stays with the foundry. We did that intentionally, but we still got to pay for the place. Doesn't matter if you have a kitchen if we can't pay to keep the lights on. Doesn't matter that you want to have events if we can't get AC in there to make it habitable. So we've got to reasonably maximize the income to the city. Mm-hmm. We need to know in those proposals how that what does that look like? And I get that there's a lot of unknowns in there, and I get that there's limited data, but we still have to have a proposal because we're going to have to make some decisions, not just about what's best for the community, that we care about that deeply and that matters to us, but also we have to care that you're going to be successful. We need to know how you're going to operate. We need to clearly understand how you're going to use those facilities to create profit for both of us so that it works. Those requests have to be in the proposal, and they need to come to us in a way where we can understand that. That's where I am with it.
Right on.
Thanks. Gary, you bring up a really good point about money. Maybe overemphasized it at the risk of the community piece. So I think all of that is important. I hear you. Thank you for holding that piece. Thank you, Lou, for holding the local and the community piece. I think tonight we got a really good idea of the people in this room and the skills. What I would like to see moving forward, like Gary said, is a clear vision and a plan for revenue. Clear, specific. And I'm interested in seeing for businesses that might seem redundant in the community on the surface. I'm interested in knowing more about what sets you apart and makes you unique as a cafe, as a bar, as a coffee shop, all of these things. What is the specific sort of need there, and what sets you apart from other places doing this thing? Yeah, and that's all I've got.
Thank you. Yeah. Sean's furiously writing things down.
It's recorded.
Yeah, you can watch this at home, Sean.
Don't watch this again.
I don't like to hear my own voice, so I try not to play it back so much.
Well, we have to listen to it all the time.
He's got a lovely timbre.
Sounds worse in my head.
Yeah, for me, Daniela really nailed this, but for me, it's what specifically makes this stand out in town and bring something new to the town. That's important to me and interesting to me. I don't want to see yet another place where you can go for such and such. I want, like, did you hear? We now have a. That would be very exciting to me. It's important to me that the kitchen is used for when we have events, when we're hosting a wedding, that the people having the wedding have the option of, like, look at this great menu that's just in house, and it's probably cheaper to people who are already there than to bring somebody in maybe from out of town. Give people reasons to keep their money here, and that's important to me. That the bar is fully functional for events as it has been for years, and it's a beautiful bar and is used for that purpose, but also the idea of a bar that's open when there's not an event at the Foundry, and what would that look like? That's interesting. And as my colleagues said, we don't want to have to do this again anytime soon, so really have a good business plan that makes us confident that you're going to be there for a good long time. That's important too. Sean, how do you feel about consensus? Do you feel like you got some kind of idea? Are you imagining in your head what Doug would be saying right now if Doug was here? What's it like? Is it?
I'm Wi-Fi enabled, so he's
beaming it directly to your skull.
From his chat GPT, from his AI.
From his skull to your skull, and we'll find out what that was later.
Do I interfere with the?
So I appreciate that feedback. I will go back and listen to the video, and Lon and I will work with the rest of the staff on this, and we will crunch it into something, and then we'll get back to the council to see if you want, where you want to bring this. If you want to bring this to a committee, you want to bring it to a special city council meeting, or if you want the RFP to be developed and bring it right back to a future council meeting. So.
Can I make one more comment?
You may make one more comment.
Thank you all for being here. And
Yes.
thank you all for caring.
Yes.
Thank you all for investing your time and effort in being here. In no way, shape are we trying to discourage you, but we got to do business. That's my point. We do care about you, and we do care about our community. We really, really do. So thank you for being a part of that. Thank you for being here.
And it was really exciting to envision multiple opportunities or options there. So thank you for that. That was exciting.
And thanks to technology, Doug confirmed that he is watching and has thoughts.
All right, Doug. Thanks, everybody.
Doug has thoughts.
All right, moving on to business item 11, consideration of a city investment report for fiscal year 2024 to 2025.
Speaking about Wi-Fi, is Steve Erlinson here?
Yes.
And a 5-year revenue and expenditure report for fiscal years 2026 to 2030. I assume this is what everybody's been waiting for. And you're wandering out because
The highlight of the
confused by
evening,
something.
right?
Please go. It's fine.
You don't want to sit through this.
It's not
Thank
the
you
most
all very
scintillating part of
much.
the evening. Thank you all.
It was enticing and delicious.
And I'm
Thank you,
hungry.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Stephen, it's not you. They
Bye.
think you're great. They're just, they have lives, Stephen. They have lives.
I'm
little
waving goodbye to
children.
you.
As those folks are exiting, Steve is coming up. He'll have a PowerPoint that he'll be able to control on his end. This is your updated 5-year financial forecast for revenues and expenditures, as well as your annual report for in your investments. And
Presented by the chief of police.
yes.
Last one standing.
And as we look at these, a lot of people say you can't predict 5 years, and that's true, you can't. So while we say this is a forecast, it's really modeling, right? So the idea here is Steve is actually very good at being on the money, but let's say the federal government does something strange, like puts
What could they possibly do?
a huge tariff on imports, and let's say there's an exemption.
psychotic.
Yeah,
Be reasonable.
under $800 is exempt, and then they take that exemption away. And
Global right, Sean.
so that could change our sales tax basis, or in the pools, or it could, alter tourism or a variety of things. What can happen is then, as those things change, the model can be adjusted. And the whole reason for doing this is so that instead, if we have to make changes, good or bad, we can make them incrementally, and we can do course corrections early. Because if I'm going to Tahoe or Sacramento, right, and I adjust in my first 2 steps, it's just a little tiny pivot. If I adjust 10 miles into the trip, it's, a huge course correction. So this allows us to do those course corrections earlier when we get the information when things are going to change. So that's what we hear from people in the community sometimes is, why do you do this? You can't predict that far down the road. And I think Steve can, but even if he's wrong, it gives us the model that allows us to adjust so that we can do those course corrections. And with that, everyone's out of the room except for the chief, and Steve's got his PowerPoint up. So take it away, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Thank you, Sean. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. Good to see you again. So tonight, and I'll try to be brief. I know you've had a long evening. I'll be briefly going over the annual investment report and 5-year financial forecast. So I'll begin with the annual investment report. So the purpose of this is intended as a review of your investment activity for the city for fiscal year 24-25. There are various elements of the report, such as the city's performance on its portfolio versus benchmark comparisons, such as the 5-year treasury yield, the 6-month yield, so on and so forth. Kind of an overview of what your investment income has been and how we see that possibly changing in the future based on certain things such as upcoming capital projects. I think, though, the key takeaways for you and for the public are that we are still in an inverted yield curve situation in the economy, meaning that short-term yields are still higher than longer-term yields. As such, the city's investment strategy is still to purchase higher-yielding securities with a shorter duration. This has worked out in the city's favor, as the city's annualized rate of return on its portfolio is approximately 3.6%, which is actually very good given comparisons in the markets and other city portfolios. And in doing so, we've maintained our top 2 investment priorities, which are the safety of the taxpayers' money and liquidity in case the city needs it for any unforeseen circumstances. The 5-year financial forecast, which Sean so eloquently conveyed to you, again, is a forward look at our general fund operating revenues and expenditures, your enterprise operations, which include water and wastewater operations, and now also the Miners Foundry, and any known grant monies that we anticipate to receive. This also incorporates the 5-year CIP that you approved back in June as part of the adopted budget package to give you a holistic forecast. And this 5-year forecast identifies financial trends and shortfalls that at least we think we might know about now and in the future, and any opportunities or issues that might arise in the next few years. The general information in the five-year forecast is very similar to the adopted budget that you see on an annual basis. So glossary of budget terms, classification of funds, things of that nature. And it also incorporates financial summaries, which you're used to in your adopted budget. So there's a 5-year estimate of estimated changes in fund balances, and then also an assumptions page, so you can see the assumptions that were used in developing the 5-year forecast. Again, it's all pie. I don't want to say it's pie in the sky stuff, but you know, there are economic forecasts that we use that I use at least from various universities, the federal government, Beacon Economics, things like that, to get to a lot of these assumptions that you see. So the long and short of it is, at least for the general fund, your main revenue sources, property tax, we anticipate to increase about 3.7% annually, and that has historically been the case for the most part. Usually the baseline is 2%, but after supplementals and a few other adjustments at mid-year budget, usually the year-over-year increase has historically been about 3.7% for the city. Sales tax, the range is anywhere between 3% to 4% based upon the most recent estimates from our sales tax consultant. However, that could decrease as well. But given what's going on in the economy and trends in the city, I think those are, at this point, realistic numbers. Your room tax is 5% annually. That's the projected growth. I mean, every time I'm in town and I stay in the city, the rooms are great. The rooms are always packed for the most part. It's hard for me to find a place. I'm lucky usually. That's a good thing. And I also know the room rates have been going up from personal experience there as well. So that is 5% seems to be a very good number annually. And franchise fees are also expected to increase about 5% annually. Continuing on, business licenses, we're projecting about a 4% increase along with your charges for services. Fines and forfeitures, even though we hate to talk about that because a lot of that has to do with motor vehicle fines and parking ticket revenue. You have a great public safety staff that really is doing their job and doing a great job at it. And those monies go right back to the public safety function in the city. Miscellaneous revenues we're anticipating will track with the CPI increase that we're projecting of 3%. On the expenditure side, going forward, based upon the MOUs that were adopted by the City Council, we're looking at a 3% annual increase for the next few years. PERS, safety and miscellaneous increases, you know, as an overall increase to the personnel budget is about 0.1%, which has been about what we've been tracking. And health insurance varies anywhere between 4% to 9% annually, which is about the historical average as well. We do have some agreements in place, so these are known increases, such as your agreement with the Grass Valley for fire services, your animal services agreement. Those have a 3% cost inflators built in. Your M&O costs for most of your departmental accounts are projected to increase on average about 0.5% annually. You think those would track with CPI? And some costs do, but your department heads are very good about monitoring their costs as well. So the true increase historically year over year has been about 0.5%. And for capital outlay, we're not projecting really any major increase or decrease on an annual basis. So the key takeaways from all this are we're projecting moderate revenue growth. Personnel is your biggest piece of the pie for the city, and as such is going to be your largest expenditure increase. And again, this 5-year forecast is a tool to identify opportunities and potential issues. And as Sean had mentioned earlier, the assumptions are subject to change, which is the whole purpose of this exercise. So with that, staff recommends that you file the 2 reports provided to you this evening and provide any direction to staff. And with that, I'll take any questions you may have. Thank you.
It's a line of public commenters.
Let's see if there's any public comment. Dan? Good. Dan's satisfied. Take it to the table. Gary, champing at the bit?
Well, I don't have a lot of questions, but I did have a couple comments. Again, thank you, Steve, for a really excellent piece of work. I also really appreciated you keeping the eye on the ball and the investment strategies to even eke out those small percentages, which in the end add up very well. So that's really great. I was looking at your assumptions, and I do get the model, and that the assumptions drive it, and the potential for predicting increases, and if we really knew what the future was going to look like economically, none of us would be sitting here at the table. We'd be on our yachts somewhere. Any thoughts on the volatility of the economics and scene that we're living into?
Well, my thoughts are, I've heard
He's on his yacht.
from various sources, this is going to happen because of tariffs, or this is going to happen because of this situation or that situation, and everybody has a different opinion. And the long and short of it is, to your point, Councilmember Peterson, if anybody knew exactly what was going to happen, we wouldn't be sitting here. Well, we're good public servants, I think we would anyways, but we'd be extremely well.
Gary would be on his yacht.
My thoughts are, and listening to some of the things that our sales tax consultant said to us, we had a meeting with them about a week ago. Right now, the volatility really isn't there.
Not yet.
Absent anything, kind of wonky. Gas prices are going up, but that's kind of typical. Refineries are offline. They always seem to be around this time of year, so gas prices go up across the state, so on and so forth. But in terms of anything going on at the federal or state level, there's really nothing that I can see at this point that would give cause for concern or raise a red flag to the council or to Sean.
At this time.
At this time.
At this
great.
time, yes.
Yeah. No, great, Steve. Thank you. I appreciate that, and I honestly do sleep better at night knowing that you've got your eye on all of this, because I know you pay attention, and it's you do a great job, and I appreciate it.
And to a certain extent, the city is blunted from a lot of the volatility that could come, especially I think there's a lot of fear around the potential of influence of the Federal Reserve and rate settings, because we're limited in what we can invest in, and because it has to be safe and liquid, we're not subject to those volatilities as much. We could see potentially a reduction in the revenues we generate from our investments, but that's a $64,000 line item in our overall budget. So the concerns are less so about our specific budget, more so about the greater community and our businesses that are investors in our community and what those impacts will be on them in the short and mid-range. So far, tariffs are definitely hitting folks. They hit builders more than anybody else because, that's a high volume of purchase. But it definitely hits our restaurants and our retail and everybody else. So, we see those 20% increases from what things were, months ago. But yeah, there's, I wouldn't want to say there's not concern, but cities are in just kind of a slightly different position in these circumstances where the concern is more in the short term for how our businesses can weather and how we can support them through it than it is for an immediate impact on our general fund budget, so to speak.
Thank you. That's very clarifying.
It's
And with 7
reassuring.
kids, I'm sure you can't wait for grocery prices to go down.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy 100 chickens because eggs are 10 times what they cost 2 years ago.
Thank you.
Hi, Daniela.
Hi. I have nothing new to add.
But you were happy to hear Stephen's voice.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Steve inspires confidence.
Thank you, Steve, for a concise summary. Can you tell me, are our revenues going up to keep match with our expenses going up?
So the answer to that question is your M&O expenses, so your day-to-day expenses, the answer to that is, at this point in time, yes. That's correct. In the 5-year financial forecast, there is a year where there is a large debt payment related to a loan that the city has on a piece of property. And that's going to be a balloon payment of approximately $160,000. That's about a couple of years out. But again, that's a debt payment. But for your M&O expenses, that's a true statement, Councilmember Suschi.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And
You're
just
welcome.
to throw in my worry wart about the federal government crashing the economy, which would then crash businesses and, devastate our TOT and our sales tax.
Yep.
Well, I was going to sleep well tonight.
Thank you, Stephen. Wish you were here. Wish you were here, always. Glad to see you. Are you any closer to moving here?
I'm working on it. In fact, I might be very close. Tonight's my wedding anniversary, and I'm at a council meeting. I don't think my
Steve,
wife's too
happy anniversary.
Birthdays,
Thank you.
anniversaries, God, we just one big celebration today.
A very romantic time you're spending right now. I only have an hour and a half of questions. You always do such a good job, and we appreciate it, and I always ask you the same question, which is there any particular area related to the city that you think we should keep an eye on? We're good now, but is there anything that's potentially troubling that you think we should just focus on a little bit?
No, I think that the good work of the council and City Manager Grayson, ensuring that costs are under control and that user fees are revisited to ensure that those are in line with costs, which all of that is happening. I think everything that you need to do is being done now. I don't have any concerns.
So as long as we have this exact council and this exact city manager, we're fine.
So one thing I would add to that is we have, because we're so small, right? We have a delicate balance of revenues, especially when it comes to sales tax. We see restaurants come and go. We see shops come and go. But generally, one will close, another one will open up. 111 Kitchen closed, and now it's Dakan, and people love that place.
Yeah.
So for the most part, those kind of things happen. What I think we will need to take an active role on in economic development in the next several years will be activating the spaces that are long defunct. That's largely, your vacant storefronts there, Alpha Building, your Las Catarinas, your Broad Street Bistro buildings to support the other businesses that are in town, as well as being active in recruiting replacement for the tech sector that comes and goes in this community about every 10 years, and we're on the goes timing right now. So, we lost 2 relatively large sales tax generators last year or into this year. And so, they're out of sight, out of mind, because you don't see them over, in New Mohawk. So.
One of them is in the top 3.
Yeah, so working on those, working on that to bring stability to that kind of fragile balance that we see in sales tax will be important. But it's one of the 4 legs of our major revenue generation, but we do need to be active where we've historically been passive in that economic development.
Thanks, John. Stephen, you mentioned in this report, personnel is our largest expenditure increase. And this isn't about that observation necessarily, but I do think it points to, it's important that we communicate with our people, our citizens, about why hiring new personnel is necessary when that happens, and why, as the case may be from time to time, existing personnel deserve pay raises. Just communicating that better. I don't go with the bandwagon that takes umbrage anytime someone gets a raise, but I think it's good to clarify when that happens, why that's happening, so we can keep the excellent staff we have. But thank you, Stephen.
And again, happy anniversary.
And good.
Thank you, Councilmember Fernandez.
Do you feel like direction has been provided?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks,
Have fun,
Steve.
buddy.
Go
Thank you,
party.
everybody. Good seeing you again.
Yeah.
Go party.
He's got a 9:15
Tell your wife thank you
reservation he's
from
gotta
us.
Thank you.
make. Is he at like a fancy restaurant right now?
He's on his yacht.
He's on his yacht. Everyone's got these yachts. Oh, okay. Look, we've got a new subsection, the citywide meeting events and activities report. Item 12, consideration of a presentation on the September 2025 citywide events and activities report presented by Lon Peterson. It's not his birthday, it's not his anniversary. It's something, though. It's got to be something. Tomorrow's my half birthday, everybody. In lieu of gifts, just a donation to one of our fine local nonprofits.
Just on this?
Is there a music appreciation nonprofit?
Yeah, on the packet. Just keep
A guy outside with a hat.
Oh, just in this packet.
Yeah, neighborhoods. Right there. No,
There you go.
ad hoc, they decided to get together.
Oh, exactly a month ago was my half birthday.
But I'm gonna let
So this is a new item. We'll try it. If you hate it, we don't have to do it again, but the intent would be we bring it back to you at second meetings as information sharing for all of the council, committee, commission meetings, workshops, special events that are approved, things that are happening at the Miners Foundry, so that, it's at your fingertips. Anybody could read it in the agenda before the meeting. They could watch it live. It won't always be Lon, but tonight it's Last Word with Lon. It could be, it could be after the meeting with Amber. It could be lots of different configurations. Nancy's News, sure. But just trying to highlight, all of the things that are going on in our community, so that people don't have to listen to me ramble on in my report about what those cool things are. So I'll give it over to Lon.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. Yeah, so this is a bigger picture of part of our comm strategy, and also allowed us to update our PowerPoint slides into a much easier long-term format. It's going to start with public meetings. We have the city council meeting and this is for September on the 10th and the 24th. Planning Commission, Open Space Element, 16th. And a regular meeting is on the 18th of this month. Public Arts Commission, which is a joint session with Truckee, will be on the 12th. And Economic Development Committee, the regular meeting on the 8th. Moving on to things happening in August, which just happened, it's already done. But I wanted to include it because I think it's absolutely spectacular, and if you haven't been to one of these, I would highly encourage you to go. However, it's during council. I know. So
You encourage us to go?
well, last time.
Doug is right now?
Yeah, that's right.
No, he's on his yacht.
Exactly. But it is spectacular. I attended the Beatles one last council meeting when they had it. You guys did a bathroom break for a few minutes. I was able to run over there and get some videos. But it is really a great community event, and we will continue to do that through the Foundry. I included it because the packet got published early. Everything else moving forward is in September. We have the Unit J event in Seven Hills. Woo! Seven Hills, what's up?
Seven Hills.
Oh, that's coming up.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
coming
realize
up.
it was so soon.
And so that's outdoor music and concert with the food truck. Next up, we have the Fire Trucks Glass Blowers Experience. That's on the 5th. That's the glass blowing experience along with music on Commercial Street. And right after that is the citywide sidewalk sale on the 6th. For those who don't know, that's offering a wide variety of goods from the local downtown shops, as well as lots of foods and treats. That's on the 6th, 10 to 5. Next up at the Foundry on the 13th, 8 p.m., that's Dogs in a Pile, super popular. They're a blend of kind of funk, jazz, rock, and psychedelia type of thing. So if you are free that evening, I would encourage you to go. What's that? Yeah. Next up, we have Pumpkins for Polio. They're calling it the Pumpkin Palooza. So this is a fundraising effort for the Nevada City Rotary, and they're doing this to raise money for global eradication of polio. There's 3 things happening here, the 13th and the 18th at the park, 2:30 and 5:30. They need artists to volunteer to paint pumpkins, and then on the 15th of October, at the Miners Foundry, they'll be auctioning off said pumpkins that were painted previously. Next up is Circle Cleanup Day. That's on the 20th, starting at 9, and there's two elements. One's on Sugarloaf Mountain, and the other one's on the Yuba River. This is an ongoing thing that they do. Constitution Weekend, everybody's favorite. It's party. So there's lots going on here. It's a 2-day event, September 20th from 10 to 5, and Sunday, September 21st from 10 to noon. Revolutionary War reenactment, parade with the famous marching presidents, live music in the historic downtown, and then a festival, a party at the Foundry after the parade. For all those activities, there are lots, too many to mention all the times. You can find all this at the Nevada City Chamber website. And a couple other things. Everybody's talking about this. Taylor Swift just got married, and guess what? She's coming. It's not really her. Same thing. No, I'm kidding.
If he took her last name, he would be Travis Swift. Wouldn't that be the best football player superhero name?
Dude, he'd be like, where'd he go? He's gone.
Brilliant. Right? Travis Swift?
Yeah.
So
hosting a comedy show at the Foundry next. But we at the Foundry, we have the Swifties coming, and there's 2 shows, 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., so it's a good time to grab the family and come on down. It's a tribute band? Yeah, it's a tribute band for Taylor Swift.
No, it's not really her. We can't.
No, I don't think she would be coming to the Foundry. Tickets would be about $7 million a piece. But, it's the next best thing. Gives an opportunity for kids.
Music appreciation. So
Exactly. Trying to make it happen here.
We'll reach out to her people.
It's an appealing title, I'm sure.
See what we can pull off here. Pause for Claus on the 27th, 1 to 4, Nevada City Rotary at Pioneer Park. And so this is a family event, fun games, competitions, prizes, and treats.
I was asked.
I recommended it.
Oh,
It's fun, it's at the park.
I'm judging dogs in terms of their
And
quality.
finally, we created a new website where you can find all events, both public and private, and things that we do, and Nevada City Gov/events. And we'll be updating that over time as a part of our comm strategy. That's what I have for this evening. It's too bad we didn't do this earlier when there's people here other than Dan, because Dan's already heard this, he knows about it.
With this.
Yeah, well,
That's
maybe-
something to consider.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Thanks, Lon.
That's the presentation. So my comments, oh, go ahead,
I
Gary.
think it's very helpful. I mean, I think it really is.
Yeah, it's just maybe poorly placed during the meeting.
Well, I
Yeah.
think
But
the
Dan's going to
intent-
be at all these.
Exactly. The intent was to just bring this to you guys and actually get some feedback as to like format, what you guys want to see, too much, not enough info. I tried to keep this to time, date, place, so it goes along pretty quickly, but also inform everybody where to find it afterwards. So if there are any updates, changes, happy to talk about it. So then when we bring back another one, we'll have those modifications made.
I appreciate how much music there was. Go ahead, Danielle.
Just in working with Freed, I learned that yellow is hard on the eyes for people who are visually impaired. And so just something to consider for a design moving forward.
It's more mustard than yellow.
Yeah.
Anything about the mustard color?
No.
I mean, I like it. I like the way
I
it
do have a
looks.
question about the glass blowing thing on the 5th. Is it 4 PM? I was understood that it starts at 6 PM. Am I mistaken?
I understood there was going to be 3 of them, and now there's only one.
That's just the one this month. It's one a month for, he did one before,
There's been 2, right?
he did one before the, not Art Walks, but.
Summer Nights.
Hot Summer Nights, and then the 2 after.
I remembered that we
So Dan will be confirming, Chief Foss will be confirming that the start time as approved by the council.
Okay.
Relative to the complaints that we've received from
And
community
noise.
members about both the early start time and the noise level.
That's where I was going with that. Thank you.
Interesting.
And
I think this is great.
since you
From the band.
mentioned the painting pumpkins for the Nevada City Rotary, I have to mention the duck race for the 49er Rotary.
We should have put that on the slide for Constitution Day weekend.
Yeah, and I
Duck
will
race
be
is a big
bringing
one.
tickets to sell at the next council meeting in case anyone.
have the refrigerator. You got
Yes, I already have yours. I won't be here that weekend, the 5th and 6th. I'll be attending my father's 98th birthday party in Milwaukee.
Congratulations.
Go Dad.
We've got some antiques in the
Lon, I just have some questions. The Swiftie concert, I see there's 2 performances.
Yes.
Now, is that because demand is overwhelming? Are those tickets selling like hotcakes?
That is the intent. Our other local venues that have had that show.
Thank you.
Have done multiple shows and sold out.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so we booked 2, and essentially, with the same price.
Well, she still sells stadiums everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Again, that's a different person. So growing up, I was a Beatle kid, and so my parents would go see these Beatles cover bands, and I'd see these guys playing Beatles songs. It was very exciting because you couldn't go see the Beatles. But what I found was depressing is a lot of times these are guys who are career Beatles impersonators. So you're seeing a guy who's been George Harrison for 30 years, and he's playing "I Want to Hold Your Hand" when you want to see like a 20-year-old George Harrison, but you're seeing this.
Dead longer.
It's so I'm just saying this Swiftie thing. This might be a delight because she's probably close to Taylor Swift's age, and you don't have to squint to be like, yeah, I kind of see it.
It's advanced music appreciation.
Yeah, I heard it's really well attended, and like a lot of the crowds are happy to see, and they actually stay after the show and do autographs and really spend time with
Very
kids.
sweet. That makes me
We
happy.
thought this was a good addition to some of the music that we're bringing to the Foundry because it is a different audience. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Affordable tickets?
$20.
Nice.
Wait a minute, I heard those tickets were going for $1,000.
Okay, again, we'll talk after. All right, thank you so much, Lon.
Absolutely.
Reports and future agenda items.
You will, and the community members will notice that government flags are at half staff. They'll be through Monday. It's based on presidential order honoring the victims of the tragedy in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I would love to say it was anything other than a school or church-related shooting, but it is exactly that, as unfortunately most of our flags going to half-staff seem to be. As I do each year, I wanted to thank Vanessa and I's youngest son, Valerian, for his presence in our life. Finding out we were pregnant with him as our 7th child is what made us want to move back home. And we always wanted to move back home, but it's the thing that, tipped our hand. Really the reason I have this job today. So thanks to Valerian, to my wife Vanessa, our children Arabella, Amelie, Finley, Liam, Lennox, and Maddox. And I want to thank the community for embracing the change that was necessary for this council to do, and for me to be able to help this team through. We've had some bumps in the road, but overall, I think what this council and what this community have done in the last 3.5 years that I've been here have been incredible. So thanks for letting me come home. Valerian would have been 4 years old next Monday. Which happens to be Labor Day, so City Hall will be closed. My family will be celebrating Valerian's birthday by taking, of all things, the history walking tour here in Nevada City, maybe the haunted tour, which both are available on an app created by our Chamber of Commerce and hosted by the Grass Valley Nevada City Cultural District. So for folks that haven't seen that app, go to your favorite place you download apps and type in GVNC Cultural District.
There's some interesting voices on there.
There's amazing voices on there, local. You might recognize some of them from this dais, from our various commissions, councils, and committees. That's what I'll be doing. I hope to see folks over the weekend, enjoying the moderate weather of the summer. And that's all I have this evening.
Thanks, John. Sure.
Yeah, sorry I missed last 2 weeks. I missed the council meeting. First time ever. And it just seemed like forever since I saw you guys, but I'm doing cool stuff.
Really?
First
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that one that 3 of us missed, so it didn't happen.
Yeah. So, anyway, further thought on the RFP. I think this seems to me that maybe a council ad hoc committee of 2 people to just support the advancement of, and review so that we can work together on it, to get it. And I'd be happy to do that, and I might have somebody that would be willing to join me. But Danielle and I, if you thought that was a good idea, serve as an ad hoc committee just to review the RFPs. I want to replay my experience card, but I've done a few of these. But I think it would be helpful, and that way when we come back to the council, that it might just move smoother.
Yeah. I'd be happy to join you if that's the right configuration.
Because I could do the technical part, and she can make sure I'm sensitive enough. Or she can try to make sure I'm sensitive.
It's not very hard.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Is that okay to do that? You're looking at me, I'm like, oh no, did I do it again? Yeah, I shouldn't have talked to that guy tonight, but I don't know. At any rate, the guitar guy, I got in trouble. I didn't get in trouble.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
I know it's fine. I know it's always fine, but I like to, get these things right. They matter to me. I think that's all I have.
Okay.
Oh, wait, one more thing. I'm sorry, just one more. Guys in the park are doing a great job. Public Works, again, out there. Those tanks are big. They're building the fence. Yeah. And I think we need to make sure that people understand why those tanks are there. Because in a world of changing climate, our park will be green because we have an alternate source of water that's not drinking water. And so this is potable water that will not be used and irrigation that will be used to keep the park looking nice. So I think, because I've heard a lot of comments, what are those things, big things? And people just need to understand what we're doing.
Yeah, we could add that. We're doing the newsletter in a few days.
There's going to be information about that there. There's going to be information for the league, for Little League there, and for the city. And it's also an opportunity for the Public Arts Commission to consider an art placement there. And just for technical purposes, so that I don't get in trouble with our city planner, it is a wall that is going up, not a fence.
It's a wall, and according to the Public Works Director, who I admire immensely, yeah, somebody's going to decide the art stuff. I'm just building this thing.
Although they had great ideas, Don and Brian had great idea
I'm
for
sure,
art.
But they're, once again, I just always want to make sure they get the credit for the great work that they do. And it's never ending.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
What was
It was a bear.
Something to eat?
It sounded like, what is that movie?
What is going on?
It's the bar.
Yeah, but that other thing wasn't.
It was
Might
kind
go
of
with the bar.
local. Sounded like a percolator.
Sounded like a. Okay.
This is really getting
Let
weird.
me wrap my mind around my thoughts for a second. I would like to thank Valerian for sending his dad to us because you've been such a joy to work with. And I'm grateful to Valerian for that. So happy birthday, buddy. I want to go back to the RFP too. I got a message from Gianna from the Arts Commission who couldn't stay, not the Arts Commission, sorry. Nevada
She
County.
is also.
Oh, she is, but in her capacity in at the Nevada County Arts Council, she wanted to stay and give public comment, wasn't able to. She just wanted to lift up all of the cultural activities that happen in the Foundry, all the dance, all the offerings, the workshops, and be sure that whatever configuration is in there of folks that they are mindful that that space is largely shared because it is sort of open, and that those things can continue to happen, and that becomes part of the partnership as well. So just wanted to bring that into the space. Also, Chief, I'd love to talk to you soon about traffic. I'm hearing it a lot from people, speeding in town, not just, Polly's email about South Pine, but also Zion, Nevada Street. It's probably the thing I hear most about is all the speeding, so I'd love to put our brains together and talk about that and, just see what can be done. Speaking of the walking tours, I am part of a small group spearheaded by Stuart Baker, who is building out some LGBTQ walking tour offerings, both past history, far back history, gold mining, LGBTQ history, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, LGBTQ history, and then some of the current happenings as well. So that'll hopefully be happening later this year. Look out for that. And then just one thing, I spent yesterday and Monday at the state capitol. I was part of a summit, LGBTQ leadership summit that Equality California does every year. And so it was electeds and nonprofit leaders, so elected and appointed leaders from across the state, talking about our communities and all that we're coming up against right now. I met a lot of people from the big cities, Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, and the realities of what's happening specifically in Los Angeles and in around Los Angeles with ICE and people being removed from the streets. And just, it's one thing to see videos about it. It's one thing to read news about it. It's another thing to be in a room with people who are living it in their own communities. And so I think it's important that we just keep naming what's happening outside of this room and outside of Nevada City, which at this point seems insulated to some degree from a lot of the fuckery. And I don't think that I don't think that that's going to last, that insulation. And so I don't have any solutions other than just reminding us that we've got it pretty damn good here right now, a lot of us. Friday at 10:30, the county at Sierra College and our DA will be giving a conversation on the Sheriff's Department and ICE and what that relationship will and will not look like. It's unfortunate it's at 10:30 in the morning on a Friday because I think a lot of the people that would benefit from that conversation will be working jobs. So, yeah, I think that's all I got.
Thank you, Danielle.
Yeah.
Nothing much other than what's been going on with me personally, which is kind of fun. I signed a contract for one of my novels, so it'll be released next fall. And then I helped a friend in my church harvest his grapes this past weekend. It's going to be a good year for Grenache. I mentioned that I'll be going to visit my father for his 98th birthday in early September. I will be celebrating my 75th a week later.
Thanks, Lou. All I had written down to mention in this space was the Nevada County Community Forum happening Friday at 10:30 at Sierra College. I am working that day. I will attempt to get out of work for a spell because I'm very curious what the DA and the sergeant. Do you remember Matt Harrison from high school? Yeah, I had PE with him. And now he's a sergeant with the sheriff. We were two of the shrimpiest kids in that PE class. It's fantastic. So I just want to see what Matt Harrison looks like now, but also hear what he has to say about ICE. As Daniela said, we're not directly touched by it yet, but with their budget increases and so forth, it feels like it's inevitable that it's going to come here. And what can we do to protect our communities from people who don't understand our communities? Are you going to be able to be there, Chief?
For the event on Friday?
Yeah.
No, I won't make this.
Okay. We'll take notes for you.
What's that?
We'll take notes for you. That's all I have. I appreciate all of you. Sean, glad you're here. And
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's working out.
Good to see you, Nancy. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy.
Appreciate everybody. We're going to adjourn at 9:25.
One thing.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Just wanted to thank Lon for shepherding all those presentations.
Yeah, nice
Thank you.
job, Lon. Nicely done.